what was it?
Yeah.
The 28th Common Writer season overall. So basically, the main premise is that they got like these geshots and they got the gamer driver. And like Ubisoft, they drop a game that's so bad, the bugs mutate and they cross over and start infecting people.
Wait, okay.
So they use the geshots and they stick them in the gamer drivers.
So like GTA 6 infects our like national security?
Far Cry 17 like is a national security threat. It cripples, it's a pandemic, basically. So they pop the geshot, right? And then they take it and then they're like, ooh, gashot toe. And then
let him cook.
Alright, Roland.
I thought Deion was giving this lecture.
Yeah, so anyway. Afterwards, you're like, oh,
Did someone say no?
I did! That's me! Oh, get out of here!
Yeah. There's only one black person allowed in the shop. With luck, he'll return.
There might be too much power.
We've multiplied. There was a dog out there. I bet he got frightened. Were you started at all by the dog?
I was a little startled. No, I had that thing
Turn
on.
it more.
He was about
Turn it
to.
more. It's not long.
Probably.
Yeah. You get it.
Yay! So,
Oh God.
at the time of recording, it is, what is it, 29th? The 30th?
7:19 p.m.
28th.
No, yesterday was 28th. There's no
Hey Ed, can you like open the blinds in all those windows?
Yes.
It is the 28th.
Right. I'm always right.
Lost our grasp on time here. But I do know that my birthday is coming up. 21.
Woo!
That's crazy, isn't it?
21 is
21.
insane.
21. Don't make any jokes.
Literal child.
I was born yesterday.
Anyone?
But,
Ed, can you open that one too?
No.
Thank you.
Get your head in the game, man.
yeah, come on, dude. Oh shit, he cocked it, he took the safety off.
You know the drill.
But, a little while either before or after my birthday, it's the 11th, right? After. The Superman movie is coming out, and we're really excited for that here. So I figured before we watch the Superman movie, we, I guess, give the folks at home a little bit of a
Superman lecture.
lecture, perhaps.
A Superman.
Maybe even a 101 thing to help get them ready for it.
Right. Yeah!
Impulse.
This lecture is not about Superman. Not remotely, actually. I have it in my notes exactly where he shows up in this story and where he stops being relevant entirely. But welcome to Impulse 101, folks. Clap it up, folks. We're really excited for this, as you can tell.
Yeah.
Impulse is most definitely a fan favorite character, real popular. He's made a lot of TV appearances. And, you know, I'm making fun of him. It's not incorrect. He has been in 2 shows, 2 whole shows.
Okay.
But not the CW.
He was in CW.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh?
You see, the
Continue.
real kicker here is that nobody's watched the CW show long enough to get it. But Bart Allen Impulse is, in fact, in that show. They change his story for some reason. They make it so instead of Barry Allen's grandson from the future, he's just Barry Allen's normal son from the future.
Oh, so this has to do with the Flash.
This does have to do with the Flash.
I didn't know that. I'm learning. Everyone, I'm learning.
I wonder what gave you that hint.
This guy's a real
The Barry Allen. I figured you'd just wear that no matter what day it was. Honestly, you'd wear that to the Superman movie.
I probably would. I wear these to work, unfortunately.
Isn't that the
So-
guy's Sonic beat already?
It was Barry Allen, but not the Flash that we're talking about. So, Impulse, created by Mark Waid and Mike Waringo. Who's heard of Mark Waid?
No.
He's
Oh, wait a second.
real small time author. You've probably never seen him on anything except for, World's Finest. And during the 80s, he was basically writing every other character in the Justice League. He was writing World's Finest, he was writing The Flash, and then about halfway through the run of the 87 run of The Flash, he was like, guys, I've got it. We're going to introduce a whole new character. Because at the time, Barry Allen got lost in the Speed Force or something. I don't know the specifics.
Chrono Ball?
They
Is that the Chrono Ball?
They ate him or something, and Wally West, Kid Flash, had to grow up a little and fill the mantle. Around this time is where you also get shows like Justice League Unlimited, where Wally West is also the Flash.
Wait, like in the 90s? Yeah.
We're in the 90s right now. POV, you are in the 90s. Impulse just came out. Except it didn't. Because here's where the real story begins. Let me pull up my notes for you folks. This is awful. Where is it? So, POV.
Roland.
Yeah.
Year.
Send me $23 when you get a chance.
The
Text
year
me what I owe you, Jackson.
It's literally like $2. I don't care. It's fine.
is 1987. And you, a staunch comics fan, are reading The Flash.
Yeah.
Specifically, the newest issue, 91. And the current plotline is a little bit dire. Like the Cobra Commander, no, that's G.I. Joe. Cobra, I think is just his name, Cobra with a K. He's a Speed Force bad guy. It's not great whenever he shows up. He's a speedster killer. Very scary. Linda Park, I think that's her last name, Linda Park, Wally West's girlfriend at the time, is investigating them. And she gets a threat to her house, a picture with her, and it says, "Mind your own business, bit," and then it always has his thumb covering the last two letters. So, like, it always has Wally's thumb very barely obfuscating. Can you say it?
Obfuscating.
Obfuscating?
Obfuscating. Thank you.
Obfuscating.
Obfuscating.
The fact that it should say bitch,
RB.
but it just says bit. It doesn't even have like half the letters like showing. It has B-I-T, thumbs, with the space where the letters should be, nothing. So this is very serious. Oh no, Wally's West's girlfriend is receiving death threats. Except at the end of issue 91, we cut away to 995, in which we're seeing Iris West about to walk into some portal. And she's got a little dude next to her. Both their faces are like completely shadowed out. You don't know what's going on, but all you catch is part of their conversation in which Iris is like, "Oh, if we're gonna save this kid, like, we're gonna need the Flash." And that's how issue 91 ends. I've got the image here for the folks at home, being these guys. So I'm just gonna ask you guys, where is Impulse on this page? His first appearance in art. Where is he?
There. That one. Right there. That silhouette.
You think that's him?
Yeah.
Okay. Jackson, Ed, take a
What?
look. See, we have Impulse's very first comic appearance. Isn't it poignant?
Oh.
Isn't it so poignant?
Is
Is that him? Is that him? Is that
Shadow
it?
he impulsating?
Is that him?
Is he Impulse?
Oh shit, grab your SD cards, everybody.
What? Are we already low on SD?
No.
cards, please?
Holy SD cards, Batman.
Is that a thing I was supposed to get?
No, it's the shadow people. They're in.
And you're like, whoa, this character is so mysterious. I don't think they're gonna show us anything about him until the time is absolutely right. And then he's just on the cover of issue 92.
Oh, okay.
Mask off, he's just there. This
Hi,
is
Hey there, buddy.
issue 92 of The Flash, Reckless Youth, where when Wally is just like hanging out with Linda, he sees a red streak just fly by him. And he's like, Linda's like, "Oh my god, what was that? That was so fast." And Wally is even more confused because he's like, "I also have no clue what that is. Like, I couldn't get a good look at it." And Wally West is the fastest speedster at the time. Like, he's not new to this. He's true to this. he can't vibrate through walls. Not because he can't get fast enough to do it, but because he goes through too fast and he shakes the molecules of whatever he's passing through right apart and the thing fucking explodes. So the fact that he can't see what just passed him is like worrying. And he goes home and he's worried. He's like, damn, Cobra's gonna kill my girlfriend, and there's this weird red thing going on. And he gets home, and who is there but his his aunt, Iris West. And first off, she's like a little older than he remembers her being, and he's like, Auntie, what's up? Like, I thought you and Grandpa were hanging out in the future. Like, I thought you guys were retired. And she's like, my grandson is going to die.
Cool, thanks for letting me know.
Thanks for elaborating on that.
Dasher.
And he's like, can I have some details? And she's like, yeah, sure. Do you mind if I give you some exposition? He's like, no, of course, that's what I asked for. And so she goes through this long thing. Barry Allen, after he's tired of being the Flash, he's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Wally, he's ready. I've trained him. Like, I'm getting old, I'm getting slow, and quite frankly, I'm a little tired of it. He's like, me and Iris, we're going to the future. We're going to the 30th century, and that's where we're gonna retire. Because if we stay here in the present, I'm just gonna keep getting annoyed by all the rogues that are always trying to find where I live and kill my family.
Also, isn't it just nicer to live in the future with like warm toilets and shit?
No, I hate it.
You see, you'd think so, right? Except he goes to the future, and he goes and he has kids with Iris, Dawn and Don Allen. That's not confusing, right? D-O-N, Dawn. D-A-W-N, Dawn.
Oh, I get it. That's
They're
pretty
twins.
clever. But it's like Stan and Stan. I get it.
Dawn and Dawn.
So Dawn and Don Allen are born, and they get their powers at a reasonable age. They're the first speedsters from the Allen line to be genetic speedsters, meaning Wally West, Barry Allen, they both received their powers from doing the same experiments. They mix up some chemicals, they're like, disgusting. And they get struck by lightning, and that gives them super speed.
Or the fairy does it.
Or the fairy does it.
I thought it was they went through like the particle accelerator. Is that the CW show?
That is the CW.
Cool, that's all I knew about the Flash. That's all I knew.
CW.
The W.
They bring it back for Absolute Flash, if it makes you feel any better.
Okay.
But, so, Dawn and Dawn, they've had their speedster powers, like, genetically. And they get it around the age of, like, 12, when you'd expect superhero powers to start manifesting in a child. And they grow up and they become the Tornado Twins, because they're really good at doing air cushiony stuff with their vibrational powers. It's a whole thing. But Earth gets invaded. Scary, right? By these bad guys called the Dominators, which is a normal name for a race of aliens to have.
The Dominators.
And it's a really tough fight, and then Dawn and Dawn, they die on the field of battle, but not before they each have a kid. Dawn has her own kid, we'll get into that later, but Dawn has a son. The person he has a son with, that's not important yet. So all we know is that when he came out, this child was like speedy. Like, he literally would finish a bottle of milk in seconds. He'd be like a blur in people's hands whenever they held him as a baby. If you've ever seen the show...
Censored baby?
If you've ever seen the show I'm a Virgo, there's a whole character who was like born with super speed, and it's like goes into how she couldn't communicate with anyone in her family because she was like 12 times faster.
I seen this on the fucking... It got like AI shorts. It was like, Rebecca was born super fast, so she was unable to speak with her family.
But, so him being super sped up also started affecting his aging. So at age 1, he looked 2. But at age 2, he looked 5. So
Yikes.
his growth is increasing exponentially at this point. And when he's like a toddler, he gets stolen. When he's still a baby, he gets stolen from his mother by the Dominators, who are trying to use him as like a battery or a weapon to take back control of Earth from the rebellion, which is known as EarthGov, which is like just super Earth, essentially. Literally Earth, like Helldivers Super Earth.
That's cool.
So EarthGov, they're like, hey, you can't do that, and they rescue the baby, but they don't give him back to his mom. In fact, they're like, those Dominator guys might have had a point when they said they wanted to turn this thing into a weapon and/or a battery. Let's just keep doing that. Can we just keep doing that? It's not like anyone's going to stop us if we just keep doing that. So they lock up the baby in VR stasis. With a treadmill under his feet and goggles on his face all the time. So he has a sped up simulation that like actually lets him exist in. And they're feeding him like hero propaganda. Like his entire life before he is rescued from this is that he believes life is a video game. And the way you win is by killing the bad guys. So Iris Allen, upon learning about this, is like, okay, so that's my grandson. I'm not gonna let you just use my grandson as a weapon/or battery. So with the powers of her own parents and someone that we'll get into later, they rescue Bart and they throw him in a time stream, which sends him all the way back to the 20th century. So the year is 1995 for him at this point. And this is where Wally West comes in, and Iris. And Iris is like, oh my gosh, I'm so nervous because the kid, like, he got away from me when we were in the time stream. Did you see him at all? Like, do you have any idea where he could have gone? And Wally's like, I might. Does he wear red? Yeah. Okay, I've seen him. So he has to like search his eidetic memory and like pretend to go back in time and look at it slowed down and be like, oh yeah, I've seen that exact kid. And Wally, he goes, he chases down this kid, and they finally introduce themselves, like they introduce him, and his name is Bart. Bartholomew H. Allen. Good news, unrelated, slight tangent, but Mark Waid actually retroactively changed Barry Allen's full name, because originally it was just Barry, and then it had some other long form of Barry, which was kind of stupid. And then when Impulse came along, Mark was like, retcon, his name is Bartholomew, and they call him Barry for short. So Impulse is Bartholomew Allen, Henry Allen II, aka Bart. Okay. So Bart is like freaking the fuck out when Wally shows up, because this is the first time he's ever been outside.
Yeah.
And he's also in the past. Like, I cannot stress this enough. He is 900 years in the past. What if you were chilling, like, in your VR simulated life for your entire life, which has been 3 years, by the way. He's 3 right now. He looks to be about 15, 14. He's 3. And people have to keep, like, reminding themselves that, like, oh, right, he's 3. But, what happens is that, what was I saying?
He shows up in, like...
Right. So
900 years in the past, you
imagine
said, right?
you get tossed into 1895.
And I'm 3. I'd probably make
Not
like
even
a weird
1895. Sorry, it's 119. Yeah, 1155.
Yeah.
11.
I thought we were shortening it for
But
like
still,
because who knows what's
what
going
if
on
you
in
got tossed
1195?
into the 1100s, right?
What's going on then, anyways? It's like
I genuinely don't remember what happens in a. Okay, so
Joy.
Yeah.
You know.
The Catholic Church is being pretty crazy. I think we're getting close to the Anglican split.
Okay.
Wait, Magna Carta.
Oh, the Magna Carta.
Magna Carta was just signed.
I'm 3 years old. I just find out about the Magna Carta. I make the face.
Guy Elon Musk.
And when he was in the future, he was like occasionally fed stories about his grandfather, the original Flash. So when he gets sent back into the past, he's like, "Whoa, I can't wait to meet my grandpa," and everyone's like, "You're a couple of years late on that, kid. Sorry, you just missed him," which is real bummer for him. But when he finally gets out and is like running across the world, literally like causing several small tornadoes on the way from just not controlling the fucking air currents he's letting off while running, and like smashing windows with the sonic booms every time he starts and stops, he can't actually slow down. No one's taught him how to do that yet, which is part of the reason why he's going to age himself to death in the first place, was that people just kept letting him live in super speed, so he was never able to pause. So Wally has to whip up like this big storm of speed force and overcharge Bart with it to kind of cancel him out. My viewer, here's something, yeah?
What the fuck does that mean?
It means that he shakes his arm real hard and tears out like a chunk of speed force, and then he launches it at Bart, who describes
speed
the
force
feeling.
is like a physical, like,
It's a thing
material?
It's a lot of things, quite frankly.
fuck
We're
is
gonna
the
be getting
speed?
into that.
Okay.
The
So
Speed Force is alive.
What?
it's super alive.
What?
So Bart
He's a chunk of a living person?
later on, Bart describes being given that extra chunk of speed force as similar to being set on fire. And he complains about it later, like, oh my god, the first time I meet this guy and he sets me on fire. And it's like, no, he didn't set you on actual fire. And he's like, it sure burnt like it. But here's the really important part I need you to understand, dear viewer, is that Wally West will not be forgiven for his crimes. Wally West will have to answer to me. Because before he decides to be like, oh, hey, I'll just like overcharge you, first off, doesn't explain it. Bart is freaking out at the time, but he is also 3, and during a very severe case of a runner's high, because Wally mentions it, like, oh, his chest is heaving, his pupils are dilated, that's obviously a runner's high. I don't think, like, he's in his right mind right now. And Wally frightens him, so Bart tries to, like, swing at him. Wally, in his infinite wisdom, decides the best thing to do here is to punch Bart in the face and fully knock him to the ground.
Teach him young.
So now Bart is like on the ground, holding his cheek. There's a bruise there. It heals.
That 3-year-old?
It heals really fast, but like the first thing Bart's ever encountered is this guy coming up, clocking him in the face, knocking him over, and he's just like, what the fuck? Why did you do that? Granted, he was attacking Wally first, but he was also high off his head, off his ass, freaking the fuck out, really scared, and this stranger shows up like, hey, like, and you don't expect him to freak out even more. So Bart flees in terror, by the way, and Wally can't keep up with him because it's like they're both just sub-light speed, so whatever distance they have is just constant distance, so Wally has to do like a ranged attack to catch him. But afterwards, Bart's like, oh, thanks, I guess, for stopping me from dying. What's the situation? And Wally's like, oh yeah, Cobra's trying to kill my girlfriend. And he's like, I know how to do superhero things. Let's go get Cobra. And they go and they have a little side quest where they go and try to beat up Cobra, but Bart
With your like
kinda,
superpowered toddler relative.
essentially, that's basically exactly what it is. While all this is happening, Wally's like, oh man, I sure hope nobody's asking me to take accountability for this because I am not caring for this kid at all. Under no circumstances. If I ever even fucking see that kid after this, I'm gonna punch him a second time, just for the hell of it. So they go and they fight Cobra. Bart kinda...
Oh, DoorDash. You got it, Jackson?
We have food coming! Yay!
I'm gonna drink a Powerade.
Should I answer in the meantime?
I got it.
Okay.
Oh wait, no, maybe that's your guys' order.
Yeah, it's mine.
Oh, okay.
Superior
I was gonna say.
But,
I think we should pause for a second.
oh, okay.
Or I'm down to keep going, but
Discussing these parts.
I was just talking about Damascus with fucking
What's
Vaughn
up? I
and
used my
Jesse
super speed to
yesterday.
bring some food in.
Yeah.
Woo!
Posting you
We're
guys.
talking about
That a speedster has to consume 8,000 calories in order to continue functioning.
Sorry, hang on.
without
Yeah.
any muscle deterioration going on.
wait, they did that in the
That's just
CW
like a
show.
yeah, I was about to say hypermetabolism thing.
Wait,
He has
and
to
in
eat
and in the new
super
Flash when he was like eating the candy bars while in the air saving the babies. That was a crazy ass scene.
I don't like Ezra Miller though, so.
Fuck Ezra Miller, but the movie was kind of fire. I like it.
No one was expecting you to say anything good about it.
I don't know about it being a good movie.
Okay, maybe it wasn't a good movie, but I had a shit ton of fun watching it.
But yeah, so they beat up Cobra, but Bart runs in a little fast and he kind of loses the fight. He gets a lot of the guys down, but at a certain point they knock him out of the air. He's about to get his ass kicked. Wally grabs him, picks him up, and immediately starts like hardcore berating him, shaking him like, "Are you
Really?
fucking stupid? You could have gotten killed in there. That's why your mother left." Like, it's stupid shit like that.
It's your fault your parents divorced.
That's why yo mama.
But like to the point where you can see in Bart's face that he is on the verge of tears. Which is insane to me. Absolutely blows the fuck out of my mind. Because what do you mean he's 3 and you're talking, you, a grown man, are talking to him like this, Wally West? He will not be forgiven. I'm sorry, he won't. He will be dealt with post-haste by me. So, finally, they're like, okay, Cobra's dealt with, the day is saved, where is Bart going? And Linda is like, actually, we have a lot of space in our house, and quite frankly, I've wanted to like test run this having a kid thing with him. So it'd be nice if we had someone that was already a little kind of developed and part of the family. While he's like, are you fucking stupid? This fiend is not entering our home. I don't care where you put him, but he's not staying with me. And like all the speedsters get together to discuss like, okay, what's going on? Is he going in? Where are we putting him? Which is the point in which Mark Waid actually pulls the curtain aside and he's like, this movie's about the foster care system. Movie? This comic run is about an endangered youth being relinquished into the foster care system.
I love being relinquished.
So we encounter this guy in Flash 77 of the same, run, named Max Mercury. And in fact, he has a lot of aliases. White Lightning, Thunder, not White Lightning, sorry. Lightning, Thunder Dancer, Windrunner, Quicksilver. But right now, he is Max Mercury. And everyone's like, hey, Max, like, Wally's the fastest, you have the best connection to the Speed Force, and you're also a lot smarter and a little older than the rest of us. Jake Garrick is just kind of standing there, I guess. And they're all like, can you take him? And he's like, fuck it. Alright. So, we finally get in to Impulse issue 1. The comic reads, from the pages of the Flash, Impulse. Which is like, pretty fire, in my opinion. Behold, the cover.
Behold is crazy.
Are you beholding? Because I'm beholding.
Makes me feel.
Yeah, you are holding the face.
I'm not quite seeing the vision.
Makes me feel impulsive.
It makes me feel impulsive.
Like I'm
Title card!
Did you hear about Invincible Verses? Are you excited for that at all?
No, it's not.
Damn,
So-
never mind.
What is it?
Mark Waid, he comes over to the Impulse Project from The Flash. He's still writing The Flash. You might not want to stand up there, that looks precarious.
No, trust me, I got it.
If you say so. But he comes over from The Flash, and he's like, I'm also going to be the lead writer on Impulse. I'm doing this. This is my story. You guys are just here for the ride, okay?
Hey, yo.
He brings over Humberto Ramos, which has a lot of other, credits to him. He's also, kind of small. You probably haven't heard of him. He did the pencils for the Spectacular Spider-Man and also the Amazing Spider-Man.
Wait, the show?
Yes. And he also did the pencils for the comic run of the Amazing Spider-Man. And he might have also done a little bit for the Fantastic Four, but you didn't hear that from me. So, Ramos, he's not new to this either. And quite frankly, he's got a lot of really good people on this project, which is surprising because Impulse is way different from a lot of the other comics that were running at the time. Like, you had the 87 run of Batman where he was like, long cowl style, real grimacy. It was quite scary in Gotham. So they all just came over to Impulse, I guess, to get a fresh breath of fresh air from that. We also have Wayne Foucher on inks. He's here. I don't know anything particular about Wayne Foucher. I forgot to do my research on him in specific. Mr. Wayne, if you're cool, my apologies. But we're finally at the actual part of Impulse, guys. Impulse, it started.
Woo!
So issues 1 through 4, we're gonna put over here in exposition. So issues 1 through 4, what you expect from something in its first 5 issues. We are introduced to some of our like supporting cast, you know. So
Hell yeah.
while we're in 1 through 4, we get our introduction into Bart's actual inner monologue, which is different. So he's 3, but he's around 14 in development, and like he looks to be 14, 15. So he has all the thoughts you'd expect from a 14, 15-year-old, but he's also got super speed and he's able to read basically any piece of fiction he wants anytime. And he just holds on to that memory. So he's like weirdly learned for a 14-year-old. He goes into school at Manchester Junior High in Alabama. Why they pick Alabama? Because it's quiet and nothing happens over there, ever.
Is Central City in Alabama?
Central City is in Missouri.
Okay.
He moves from Central, well, it's actually Keystone City, which is still in Missouri, but semantics. He moves from Missouri to Alabama because Max is like, oh, nothing bad will ever happen in Manchester, Alabama, which is like, famous last words. Issues 1 through 4, we are introduced to Bart and a few other people. Bart is like, hey, I've got to do a school project, but I just learned to write this morning. And he tells his actual story. He's like, oh, I was living in the future, my aunt came to get me, I've never met her before, but she seemed nice. There's a bit where it's like framed as his thoughts are written on the paper as he's thinking them. And when he starts talking about Iris, he has to cross out his original thought, which is, she's the only one that's ever cared about me. Which is like, woof. Like, that's your takeaway so far? Is that Iris West is the only person who has ever cared about you? Okay, you're in for a good one, aren't you, pal? He complains about Max a little bit. He's like, I'm sure he's really cool, but I've never met this guy, and quite frankly, he's a little weird. Like, people keep telling me he does super speed stuff, but I've only ever seen him sit on the couch and read about Native Americans. And
Who's
it's
Max?
like, huh?
Who's this guy?
Max Mercury. So Max Mercury is a speedster who has been around for upwards of a century because he's been reverse aging himself on occasion to stay not young, but less old, I guess. And he's been at it for so long that he's had like 6 different cryptonyms, just so people don't assume that he's reducing the speed at which he ages, which is really funny because he's paired up with the person that aged faster. Yuck. He's gotten up to a lot of shit, but he's also one of the most learned people in the Speed Force because he's had a century to practice, and he has a certain connection to it that the others just don't have. For example, if he meditates, he can look directly into the Speed Force and communicate to the people that are within it, which is like, whoa. But he gives like a whole story about how he's feeling and like his thoughts on the matter, and then Max takes a look at it and he rips the report down like right in front of him, and he's like, that's not correct, do it again. And Bart's like super distressed. He's like, dude, that took me 2 weeks to write. And Max is like, it felt like 2 weeks because you perceive time weird. It was an hour. Try it again. And this is kind of the dynamic for the entirety of Impulse, is that Max wants Bart to be normal and human, and Bart wants to be Bart.
What it's like to be autistic with neurotypical parents.
This is literally exactly what I am talking about when Mark Waid was being so fucking intentional with the way that he was writing this character, which is why I'm insane about him today. So, we also meet a few other characters. Preston Lindsay. He's another kid that happens to be in Bart's class. He's B's student. Like, he's pretty normal, I guess, except he's got a really big thing about comics and movies. He carries around a camcorder all the time, and he's always saying, like, I'm gonna be a filmmaker. And he's really well behaved around his parents, like, to the point where Bart is like, is one of them hitting you? What it was. We also meet Carol Buckland. who is the smartest, most talented person in school. She is like top of the class, but she's also an athlete, so it isn't just like she always has her nose in the books. Like, she's wicked smart, and she's also like on the baseball team. Her deal when she first meets Bart is that she thinks she thinks that he's fun and capable, but she's also like, you seem really naive, and I'm 100% sure the kids at the school are going to make you do horrible, horrible things in like pursuit of their entertainment from you, because they know that you'll do it because you just want to have fun and like hang out with people. And like, she says that to him, and he's like, nuh-uh, I do weird favors for them because I think they like me. And she's like, okay, that's...
I love her.
Sure.
Great character.
So she kind of flip-flops between being like supportive and caring of Bart to being a little bit like annoyed with him. In this portion, Carol doesn't really know how to feel about Bart, because when she's alone with him, it's like, oh, he's funny, he's witty, he's friendly, he's just a great guy to be around. But when other people like say, he'll jump and do something really stupid and risk his life, and like, she can't wrap her head around that. We also meet another one of Bart's friends, Roland.
Yo,
Yeah.
no way, no
So,
way.
Roland, no last name.
No
We
last
never
name,
hear his
come on.
last name.
What?
I assumed it was Bowles at first. But I'm like, that's not. I don't think that's his
That's
name.
a different Roland.
That's some other guy.
That's another guy.
Roland he's heavy kid. He's a little bigger than the rest, but he's kind of
Sure am.
he's friendly but a little dopey. Like, he gets bullied for a while, and Bart makes it his business to like protect him from that, because he doesn't enjoy seeing people getting picked on unfairly. So he's like, okay, if you're gonna mess with him, I'm gonna protect him, because like, it's 4 of you against 1 of him. Super speed might as well help here. So when they first meet, Roland is just trying to get to like his lunch table. Takes a bit of food.
Someone calls him a
And
rice
shucks
baby, and
it.
it changes the course of his life.
Except it's a black kid. So someone like takes a meatball or something, they chuck it at him, and they're trying to make him like drop his tray. Bart comes over and he knocks Roland's tray up into the air to like defend him, and then he gives Roland his own plate of food. Mind you, Bart has to get 8,000 calories a day just to like function. So the fact that he's giving up his food for someone else is really important to me. And it should be to you too.
Thank you,
And
Bart.
you.
Thank you, Bart.
Everyone say thank you, Bart.
Thank you, Bart.
Yeah. So that's issues 1 through 4. In issue 4, we meet a recurring villain, actually. The first time we see her. Her name is White Lightning. We never learn her real name,
up?
but her deal is that she's a streamer.
Oh no!
And everyone knows how much fun those are, right?
Wait, but this is like 1990.
The White Lightning
this is
situation is
87.
crazy.
80 streamer overload, bro.
Technically, this comic is taking place in the future, because the comic came out in 87, but it takes place in 95.
Okay, so what is the streamer?
So she does like internet chat room streams where she'll announce to local kids that she's about to be in the area, and she'll be like, okay, everybody gather up, like, you need to all get together so I can pick out who I want for my team. And whoever she picks, she'll take them with her on a heist. Because every time she heists with a bunch of random local kids,
We're
they
heisting.
can't arrest the kids because they're like 12 and they have no clue what's going on. They're just like, oh, this woman, she took me to the bank, and she told me to stand there with this gun in my hand while she stole things from the bank. Did I do good? And they're like, oh my God.
This is a real phenomenon in Baltimore, by the way.
This is a thing that actually happens. Like I'm saying, Mark Waid knows what he's talking about. So it's like a whole issue that these really impressionable kids are just waiting for White Lightning to show up and like tell them what to do. And Bart only finds out about this when a local charity like telethon is going on the TV. He flips the channel. There's like a little dinosaur Barney type mascot there. White Lightning shows up with a gun And she's like, okay, if you guys don't give me money right now, I'm gonna shoot this fucking mascot's brains out. And all the kids there are like, oh,
the Cubo closing video thing. And they're like, shoot Max and Ruby in the head if you don't donate 25,000.
No. Okay.
But yeah, they're like, she's like, okay, give me all the money that you guys have raised up, give me this giant, comically large check, and also give me everything that you guys have in your wallets. And Bart's like, oh man, I gotta stop this. But White Lightning has a certain power, which is she can charm men. Like, it's a meta-human ability that she has, where she like bats her eyelashes at dudes, and that takes over their mind, which is also part of how she's convincing all these young adolescent boys to do her bidding. Is that she'll literally use like, it's like poison ivy type shit, you know?
Yes.
Like, she's literally manipulating them.
Damn. How could she do this?
And it's genuinely kind of upsetting, like the way she tries to integrate these kids. Like, she's like, oh, if you help me, like, I might show you my boobs. Huh?
Maybe I didn't see them.
My lady in Christ, those are 10-year-olds. But yeah. So she's a reoccurring villain. She's not big time,
Are these not?
but
those are jalapeno poppers.
Bart doesn't like what she does because he doesn't think it's
Sorry,
fair.
Roland.
You gotta tell him.
Because it's
Yeah.
like,
I am. I'm going.
she's picking on kids, and she's literally using mind control to steal from people.
Yeah, that's
All of
crazy.
this is like, what the fuck? You shouldn't be doing that. But I digress. We also meet another reoccurring character by the name of Helen. Helen Claiborne. And she's a local dentist in the area. So she doesn't make bad money, but she's an intellectual, you know, she's got her degree. She's kind of bad. And we meet her at the library where she's trying to chat up Max. So she's like, hey, I noticed that like you're another older dude. She's like in her 50s, by the way. She's like, oh, you seem really sophisticated, you seem intellectual. I'm always seeing you like in here reading about the local indigenous populations. Like, is that something that interests you? And he shuts her down flat. He's like, sorry, I'm here with my nephew. I can't talk. I can't talk. Leave me alone. Leave me alone. And Helen keeps pursuing him. Not like actually like, go on a date with me, go on a, she's not a predator.
She's not Panini with it.
She's not Panini, but she is like subtly flirting with him occasionally and making it clear that even if he doesn't want to date, she would still like to hang out with him. But Max is like keeping her at full arm's distance. Bart actually makes a joke at some point when he's like, oh, are you and that Helen lady gonna start going out? Max gets mad at him and he says, what? I thought you liked girls. Which is to say that Bart assumes that, oh, if you don't like Helen, then you must be gay.
Yeah.
Dude, what are you?
How 1987?
But here's the thing, though, is that it isn't you must be gay in a... I almost said it. Hey, camera on me for a sec. Look up. 6 letters, ends with a T.
No, we're getting demonetized. Look what you did. You make money.
No, our revenue!
No, this is Trump's America. You can say that now.
Exactly, or we'll get canceled. Or we'll get canceled if we don't say it. But other people in the comics regularly call Bart a twink when they talk to him. They're like, he gets in
I
a lot
feel
of trouble.
uncomfortable that they're saying that about my best friend.
Exactly, about your best friend Bart. But like, he gets in trouble with a lot of the bully types, the older kids at school, because he just like casually embarrasses them. Like, he goes and plays dodgeball and they literally can't land a hit on him because he's just like, oh, you almost hit me. Ooh, ooh, oh, you're gonna, ooh, you can't throw that ball fast enough to hit me, dumbass. Or for his geography test, he had to like study on a bunch of stuff in France, and this one guy saw him leave the room, and they're like, Miss, Bart, he's cutting class, he cut class. Bart ran to France, by the way, to ask all the questions on his geography test. Like, what's your local currency? What do you call a police officer? How tall is the Eiffel Tower?
And they're like, okay.
And they're like, oh, okay. Like, he helps solve, like, a French crime. There are these three guys, Reynaud, Jean, and Francois, which is like Mark Waid couldn't think of any better names for a group of Frenchmen except for Reynaud, Jean, and Francois. Like, it would have been worse if one of them was named Pierre, but who knows. So they're like, oh yeah, we'll help you, Impulse. And he's like, yeah, what do you call these things? They just do his test for him, not do it for him. He does get the knowledge. He asks them, he fills out the answers in French, because a big thing that speakers can do is learn languages way fast, right? So he gets a good grade, and the other kid that was snitching on him fails because he wasted his time going, Miss, Bart, he's cutting class. You have to come look right now, Miss, Bart, he's cutting class. So the guy's like, hey, twink, I'm gonna cream you after school.
Don't say that!
This is an exact quote.
Oh my god.
And then Bart, unbothered, goes, yep, creamy, got it. And that happens like 3 times in that comic, where someone's like, twink, what are you doing? Twink. To the point where on Tumblr, his community tag, like, line subheader is fastest twink alive.
Roll, can I have one of your fries?
No.
Okay.
You sick fuck.
This
But,
guy silly.
I'm not fine now.
Yo, boy.
But it's just not great. So we are gonna jump ahead a few issues, because after issue 4, a big issue, that Impulse has is that in between major arcs, the rest is sort of filler. Like, Bart has a whole thing that he doesn't really develop all that much until way later into the run of the comics. So even to the point where, like, Max is like, dude, I've had you here for maybe 2 years, and you haven't learned much, dude, like, at all. So Bart develops very slow, to the point where there's just a lot of filler going on. So we're gonna jump from issue 4 to issue 9, where we meet another member on the Allen family tree, Jenny. Jenny Ognatz. When Bart was born, he had a cousin who was the daughter of Dawn Allen.
Yep.
And her name is Jenny. And she, in the future, was not taken by the Dominators, was not taken by EarthGov, because her powers developed at the normal rate. Same as Dawn and Dawn, when she was, like, at the age where she was aware of her powers and could control them. So nothing happened to her in the 30th century. And she remained there until she could become a superhero through the natural means. And she joins the Legionnaires. So she comes back in time, on accident, mind you, and she sort of poses this, like, fobby cousin stereotype. Like, I don't know, are you familiar with the word fobby?
No.
Fobby means fresh off the boat, which is what you call a freshly immigrated person who is not yet, like, understanding of the new culture. Because, remember, Bart's an immigrant, a time immigrant, but he's been here a little longer and he's had a little more time to adjust to it than Jenny has. So when she comes, like, to the past, she can't speak English. In the 30th century, they have this new global language called Interlac, which is the same language they speak out in space in DC. So when the Dominators come, they make the primary language of the planet Interlac, and everyone was just like, hey, maybe being enslaved by those guys wasn't great, but they did give us a national language, like a global language to all work with, and it's not half bad. So Jenny only speaks in Interlac when she gets to the past. Bart has to, like, explain to her how English conjugation works, and she still gets, like, phrases wrong sometimes. She's like, oh, I like your strings? Nice strings. And Bart has to be like, she meant threads. She said she meant sick threads, dude. Sorry. But He's like really excited to meet her though. Like she embarrasses him at occasional times, but he hasn't had an actual speedster to hang out with since he came to the past. Max doesn't count on account of the fact that Max explicitly refuses to use super speed in front of Bart to not accommodate him for that, because Bart likes to do things sped up, so Max makes him slow down for shit. So, like, he'll make him a sandwich at normal speed, he'll get dressed at normal speed, and Bart will just be like, I'm gonna kill myself, please speed up a little bit. So Jenny is willing to do that with him, and like, she'll race him around the world. They're really great friends. They go to Bart's school together for a little while, and there's like this whole arc where a local rock star is going to perform, but he can't make it. So Bart and Jenny, they go up on stage and they have this really good like ska performance to the point where everyone in the audience is literally raising lighters and shouting like, get their clothes, because it's the 80s and that's what you did back then. You'd see a rock star and you'd immediately try to strip them naked, I guess. Remember, they're like 15 here and everyone's like, get him naked, and we're like, ugh. But immediately after this big performance that Bart is just like overjoyed with, Jenny's like, hey, I figured out how to go home, man. And this place is fun. You're really nice. I gotta go. Like, they're waiting for me back in the 30th century. And Bart's like, it's fine, I didn't want to go to the 30th century anyway. I was just born there, you know? My mom is there. I don't even know what my mom looks like, but you know, it's fine. I'm just really glad you get to go back to the future and be happy without me. And it's like a whole thing. Bart writes a note and he puts it in a saxophone that she was playing during the performance in a museum. So Jenny, if she knew where it was, could go in the future, find it, get it, see the note that he left her. There is no proof that she ever got this note though, because he couldn't tell her where it was. So, bummer. But Jenny Ognat's great character. We love her to bits. Before she leaves, we have this crisis in issue 10 where Bart loses his powers. And you see that it is like borderline a lobotomy for him. He's like, I'm thinking slower. Like, I can literally feel myself thinking slower. He goes to school and he realizes that he can barely function without like even a little bit of the speed force going on. He can't think, he can barely write. He's like so used to just flying through it that when he's locked in normal speed, it feels like there's weights dragging him down all the time. He goes and
his mentor was warning him about this.
I mean, in his defense, he was born that way. Like, it wasn't as if he gained his powers later in life and he had a frame of reference to like go off of. His brain is hardwired for super speed to the point that Wally West had a theory about how his brain functions now, referred to as the single synapse theory, in which Bart's brain is just one big neuron that is constantly firing.
One brain cell.
He's literally, that's essentially what Wally was saying. Like, they didn't say the one brain cell thing back in the 80s, but that was single synapse and one brain cell mean the exact same thing.
One overclocked brain cell. That's hilarious.
So now that Bart is like able to have separate thoughts at different times, he's like, this is awful. I hate this so much. He goes to gym and he's like, I can't run, I can't dodge, I can't move. And usually when people bother him at school, he's like doesn't really care because it's transient for him. Like, it's like, okay, that happened 5 whole seconds ago. I literally don't care. Now, when somebody like yanks his chair out from under him, he gets
doing that.
Not even. He gets so mad in the moment that he physically like leaps up, screaming, like yelling, and he just punches the kid in the face. He's on him, he's clawing at him. People are saying like, oh my god, he's insane. He's fighting like a wildcat. Like, they literally have to tear him off the other kid, kicking and screaming.
Good! I'm over here cheering for him.
And you know what? You're right.
Yeah! Get his ass!
You're right. But I do like that whenever, like, that's him actually mad. Like, nothing anyone's done to him has been upsetting, because not only would it, like, it was funny to him because it's like, oh, they think that they can upset me. They think like this has anything to do with me. When he loses his superpowers, he's like, why the fuck is this so personal? And he has to think for a minute, like, what the fuck is your problem? I'm literally trying to eat lunch. I didn't even bother you today. So that's like what throws him over the edge to immediately just lose his mind on this other kid. And honestly, I felt vindicated. I felt vindicated. I feel vindicated in this Chili's tonight. So, we're skipping ahead another couple of issues. We're going to issue 15. So, Max and Bart are getting back from like this event in town. I believe it was a carnival or something. And they see that Helen, their neighbor, mind you, her door is open. And there's a car in front of her house that they've never seen before. And they hear shouting from inside. So immediately they run in because they're, superheroes. And they see this giant man just fist in the air about to bring it down right on Helen. She's on the floor cowering. And we learn that this is her ex-husband. And he's like demanding that she come back and say that she loves her again. Like she loves him again. And she's like, no.
Who's Helen again?
Helen is a local dentist that has a crush on Max.
Got it. Oh, right.
So Max sees this, runs in, clocks the guy in the face, and shouts, "Get your hands off my daughter." So how do we get here?
Oh, wait a second. Is there time shenanigans going on?
Welcome to a speedster comic. That's all we have. Y'all got any normal plot line? We have time travel.
We have time travel.
We have time travel. So, way back in like the 50s, post-World War type shit. This husband and wife, David and the wife, I don't remember the wife's name, but one of them is David Claiborne and the other one is the wife. And they see this guy like collapse under some rubble in their town after a villain. And they're like, oh no, is that Max Mercury? Oh no, dude, we gotta nurse you back to health or something. Hey, how about you come into my lovely house with my beautiful wife and we'll like keep you in the guest room, we'll feed you soup, it'll be great. And Max is like, sure. Because he's like concussed or something. But he gets in the house and they just kind of live with him for a while. And it's like bordering on the edge of throupleship. Like to the point where it's like, why are you and your husband living with this other strange man? I sure hope nothing bad comes of this, except it does. It goes quite poorly because Max is like, hey, how's your marriage going? No reason. And David's like, hey man, we may not be perfect, but at the end of the day, she's my wife, and I'm gonna stick with her. And then he goes to the wife and he's like, well, how are you feeling? And she's like, I'm not loved. This is not me making fun of the wife. This is me more so being like, hey, Max Mercury is a whore. That man is a home wrecker.
He's a hooer.
He comes into their house, gets nursed back to health, and his first thought is to fuck that guy's wife? Insanity! And he's like flirting with her hard. Like he goes and he takes her onto the roof and he shows her the stars and he teaches her all the names of the constellations. You are a whore, Mr. Mercury. There is no way. And finally, like when they're in bed together, as one does, fucking in another man's bed, the other man shows up and he's like, are you fucking my wife? And Max does not answer for this at all. In fact, he wusses out all the way to the 20th century, which is how Wally encountered him at all in the first place, because he was trying to escape this really messy, like, relationship he had caused. And back in the past, the wife was still pregnant with his child, and he was aware of that. And he even like looked her up and he found out who she was. And he chose to live in Alabama so he could keep an eye on her. And he chose not to tell her until right this very moment. And she's justifiably pretty mad at him.
She's been flirting with him for like...
She's been flirting with him. And Bart is like, Oh, this is why you didn't give her any play at all. Okay. So, on one hand, Max Mercury, you are a little weird for letting your daughter flirt with you, and you are even weirder for fucking that guy's wife, but at least you didn't lead her on. Like, he was very calm about rejecting her every single time, but still, like, that's your daughter. And she's like, dude, I'm your daughter. But it's just not great. Issue 24. So, if you might have noticed, we're kind of reaching the end of our exposition zone here. Because when we get to issue 24, we meet another important character, Melanie Thawne.
Whoa!
Melanie Thawne?
Whoa!
She is an ancestor, a descendant, I mean, of Eobard Thawne, Reverse Flash. And she is the daughter of Thaddeus Thawne, who is the president of EarthGov, Super Earth. And he was the person that kidnapped Bart from the Dominators to turn him into a weapon. Because he only knew that Bart existed because Melanie fucked Don Allen, had a son, was like, oh, he's got super speed, Dad, this is super weird. The Dominators stole him. She was like, Dad, get him back. He goes, sure thing, honey. Whoops, he must have died.
Wait, Eobard and Barry's grandchildren end up hooking up.
So Eobard Thawne is the ancestor of Thaddeus Thawne, who is Melanie's father. But Thaddeus Thawne is like really dead set on keeping this blood feud going because he's got like some huge grudge with Barry coming to the future to live in his time. He's like, you Allens, you fucking Allens, pissed off my great grandpa. And you know what? You come to my town? Unbelievable. I'm gonna steal your grandson. I'm gonna do it. So Melanie Thawne was part of the team put together to save Bart from that. And she is really on board with chucking him into the past because she believes she has more important things to do because she is officially part of the resistance that are fighting off EarthGov because they're like they're like tyrants, you know? We don't like them very much. But she's able to go back to the past and Bart is like, he doesn't even recognize her at first. Bart has this really important feature which is huge hair. His hair is just massive. So we see this woman with equally huge hair, and we're like, wonder who she's related to. And she shows up and she's like, son, I'm so glad, like, I finally meet you. Why am I coming to get you? We need you in the future. And he's like, you need me to hang out with you and be a family? No, we need you for your super speed. And Bart's like visibly kind of deflated by this. He's like, You didn't want to just like hang out with me? You didn't want to come bring me back to the future or come live with us in the past? You needed me to do superhero stuff? And there wasn't any other speedsters? Okay, sure. Let's go, Mom! Let's go to the past! And for a while, she's like pretending she's going to like stay with him.
Oh.
And it's actually a pretty rough scene. But, trying to remember exactly. Okay, so while she's in the past with him, like just before they leave, Carol, like Bart is thinking that he's never coming back, right? So he's like packing all his stuff. He's telling his friends like, "Hey, it's been real, it's been fun. I'll see you later." Carol hands him a drawing, and she's like, "Don't open that until you're wherever you need to go, man." And he's like, "Okay." He goes to the future, opens it. It's a picture of him in the Impulse costume. Because she figured out he was Impulsed a while ago. And she's been a lot more, like, chill with him since then. Like, she's stopped assuming he was just fucking off wherever. Because he's like, every time he disappears, Impulse shows up. Okay.
This is the friend who's trying to help him not get bullied.
Yeah. So she kind of gets off his back about being, like, kind of a coward, kind of flaky, because she's like, oh, okay, he's Impulse. Yeah, it's annoying, but he's impulse, so it's fine, I guess. But at the end of the day, Melanie's like, hey, it's been really great having you here, but your grandpa is just going to keep chasing you down while you're in the future. That's not safe for me, and it's not safe for you. So you're going back to the past, and I'm not coming with you. And he's like, oh, okay. So I'm just changing houses again? And she's like, yep. And he's like, oh, okay. So he goes back to the past, except it's like the same day, for him at least, and Max is gone, and their house is empty. And for a while, he assumes that because Max thought that his responsibility for Bart was like up, that he just skipped town. So Bart is like bumming at his friends' houses for a while. Mind you, he's at most 16 in development. And he's just like, oh yeah, my uncle is somewhere else right now, so I need somewhere to stay. Like, he's essentially homeless for this time until Max finally like shows up and he's like, oh, I just moved in with Helen because she like wants to live with her dad again. I didn't think you were coming back, so I moved. And I guess you're back, so do you want to live with Helen with me? And Bart's like, yay! And that is the end of our exposition. So now...
No more expediting.
Wait, so where is he living now?
So now he is living at the house next door, because Bart never checked next door for Max. It's supposed to be funny, but like, here's my whole thing. As a person who's on the spectrum and who's been tricked in this way before, I could only feel a really deep sense of like pity for Bart and, you know, like understanding. Like, he just went home, no one was there, and he's like, oh, they abandoned me. And then when Max finally shows up, he acts like Bart is stupid for not checking next door.
Yeah.
But also, like, how would he have thought to do that? He came back from like this big thing, he was fighting for his life, and his house is empty, his stuff is gone. It looks like he was never even in there. He's like, oh, okay. And no one told him the procedure for this sort of thing. So he's like, I guess I'm homeless now. I don't think that's his fault, quite frankly.
Is his family from the future staying with him in that other house, or are they
No.
completely bolted?
No. Nope. Melanie was like, hey, it's been really great seeing you, but now that the thing that I needed you to do is done, like, I gotta get back to doing my own thing, and I can't take you with me.
That's so Thawne of her.
Melanie, Thawne, Wally West. You two will be dealt with. In the very near future. But now we're on to Act 2 of the Bart story. So now we're in a completely new, like, dynamic. Bart has Max, who is his foster father. Max has Helen, who is his daughter, but they are like similar in age. Max is about 70, Helen's in her late 50s. Like, she's got a white streak of hair, his whole head is white. So she doesn't need a daddy, you know? Like, she doesn't be like, Dad, I need you to comfort me. Like, she's like, we're gonna live together as adults, and I'm gonna keep an eye on this kid, because I genuinely don't think that you are giving him enough attention. And I need someone else to let this kid know that he's cared for, because you were fully willing to like let him flounder after he was homeless for a while, and I'm not doing that. So this is his second mother figure.
Let's go, Helen.
Let's go Helen, honestly. Helen might be the only reason that Bart has an even remotely okay relationship with Max, because Max is known for being kind of distant, kind of closed off. Helen is the one that's sort of like willing to hug Bart, willing to give him some contact and some good reassurance, while Max being nice to Bart was like explicitly a trick to try to throw him off like his groove. Like, even Bart's like, if Max is being nice to me, something's wrong. Which is like, that's not an okay relationship to have with your foster father, is it? wonder what time it is. Could be 8:30. But I digress. We get to issue 28, where we meet the very first other kid hero. So right now it's just been Impulse, and he is a member of this group called Young Justice, but he hasn't met any of these characters yet. Episode issue 28 is where he meets one of the founding members, Arrowette, Sissy King Jones. My fist is clenched. So, Arrowette, she's the second person to have this name. In Star City, home of Green Arrow, I almost said Green Lantern, that's Coast City, Green Arrow and Speedy, there was this lady named, forget her name. Anyways, so she wanted to be an Arrow-themed superhero too, and she mostly just kind of got underfoot. Like, she's like trying to force herself into the sidekick role. Like, Green Arrow and Speedy, they'd be doing their thing, and then she'd show up with like her kind of dinky bow and arrow, and she'd be like, I'm helping! And she did it so many times that she literally got like a carpal tunnel condition, and she couldn't shoot a bow anymore. And that kind of crushed her dreams to do any sort of superhero work, or to at least go to the Olympics for archery. So she's like, fuck it, we're doing it again. So she has a daughter and essentially grooms her from birth to be a superhero. And here's the part where we get into the real important thing with these crossovers that happen in Impulse, is that a lot of them are distinctly chosen to be foils or reflections of Bart. So you have a person who was groomed from a very young age to be a certain kind of superhero by an adult that does not actually care for their well-being.
What an elegant way to do crossovers with legacy characters.
So the young Arrowette, Sissy, she comes into town chasing this guy, the Spaz, who's... So he's got like the Hulk thing going. He's like a teenager, but he's also got like braces, and he's kind of got jaundice. He's a little freckly, and he's like the bully archetype, but he's also the Hulk. So apparently Sissy's been chasing him across the county for a while because he's been like going to school and just bashing them up because he hates school so much. And when Bart first meets her, like, he can hear in her earpiece that somebody's saying stuff to her, giving her instructions. And he's like, what the fuck? And he runs all around, like, the town until he finds the van that Arrowette's mom is inside of. And he's like, hey, you, I know your voice. Why are you such a bitch to my friend? And she's like, what? No, I would never be mean to my daughter. What I'm doing is helping her. And Bart is like, I don't think that's true at all.
Sorry.
This is the second time he's stood up to an adult that's very clearly mistreating their children.
Yeah.
Preston, when he thought Preston was being abused by his father, and then when we actually see what's going on, it was his mother who was beating him. So this is the second time he's encountered a mom that wasn't, like, nice to her kid, right? And this kind of baffles him, because even though he has an issue with how much Melanie hangs out with him, he still knows that his mom is nice and likes him. So he's like, it's kind of weird that you guys aren't doing that, because like my mom doesn't hang out with me, but you hang out with your kids and you're awful to them, and I don't know why. So he kind of hangs out with Arrowette, and then later on he goes to Max and he's like, I don't like the way you talk to me sometimes. I think you should be nicer to me, actually. Otherwise, you're gonna end up like her. And Max is actually, like, moved by this to the point where he goes to a carnival and gets him, like, a bunch, like, a lot of his favorite things.
Aww.
Which is kind of love bombing, if you ask me. But that's just the theory. Impulse theory. So, issue 30 is when we meet someone by the name of Dr. Morlow. And he's found David Claiborne, or actually David Claiborne's found him, Helen's father, by the way. and they've come to kill Max Mercury for cucking him and fucking his wife.
Okay.
And
Okay.
Morlow is just here because he doesn't really like Max. He's just like, oh yeah, every time I try to do cool mad scientist stuff, that guy shows up and he kind of dicks me over. It's not cool. I'd like him gone, please. But at the end of the day, Max ends up being able to talk Morlow down and kind of scold David like, hey dude, I am sorry for fucking your wife. My bad. But Helen tells me that as soon as you learned that like she wasn't your daughter, you were a deadbeat father. And I may not have hung out with her, but I kept her safe all these years. Like I always checked on her. I have
The bar is in hell.
the bar is in hell, quite frankly. Which is like the blind leading the blind here. Like Max, I don't
You're
know
a
if you
deadbeat
can.
father. So it's the guy time travel away from fatherhood.
Takes one to know one. But Morlow, he's got this thing going on where he's an older dude who drinks this potion to repeatedly like stay young, and he's like addicted to it. It's getting less effective. He needs to drink it more and more often. And David's trying to get some of that juice for himself so he can turn young and kick Max's ass. But Max is like, first off, I kick your ass at any age. Don't fuck with me. Second, you are going to get addicted to that stuff, and it's not going to work. I don't think it's gonna work, pal. And David's like, excellent point. I'm gonna go fuck off now. Do you mind if I never come back? And they're like, absolutely not, dude. But Dr. Morlow, he is great. He repeatedly shows up. Now that he's not evil, now they kind of... He still likes to do mad scientist stuff, and he has to like be very sneaky about it. He's like, what's that laser for? Nothing. Science project. And Max is like, hey, no evil. And he's like, it's not evil, it's just a solar powered death laser. I wasn't gonna shoot it at anyone. God. But he's cool. He and Max become like buddies. Once we reach this section, Act 2, we start getting a lot more of these really telling crossovers. So, for example, I'd say, for example, and then I have to go to a completely different character. We meet the very first social worker that Bart has encountered.
Whoa.
Except the issue is that this social worker cares about kids in the educational sense. But when an actual kid in crisis comes up to him and is like telling him these issues, he's like, that sounds weird. I think you have delusions. And it's like, okay, what the fuck are you here for, man? So Bart like comes to him after having like a full falling out with Max. Like Max is like, hey dude, in all the time you've been here, you haven't learned a thing. I tell you to save the people first in a disaster, and you go for the bad guys. Like, your priorities clearly aren't right here. I don't think I want you as a student. And Bart's like, why didn't you say that? Why didn't you say that you wanted me to save people instead of go for the bad guys? Because if you told me to save people, I would have saved people. But I figured that the other way to save people is to get rid of the thing that's hurting them. Like, if you had an issue with that, you could have told me. So Bart goes to the social worker at school, and he's like, I'm having a lot of issues with my dad, and also I'm a superhero, and like he goes into really like in depth about this. And Jasper Pearson, the social worker, is just like, are you taking Adderall? You should start. And Bart's like, that literally doesn't work on me. Because it's a whole thing that medication poisons, they don't work on flashes because their body metabolizes it right out.
Also, a stimulant is the last thing that boy needs.
I honestly, like, I don't know what that guy was thinking, but he's like, I think you have an overactive imagination and delusions. I diagnosed you with ADD. Please take some Adderall. And they're like, yeah, sure. And Bart is like, there's another reason why I don't trust any adult ever. I guess this is the last time I talk about my problems. But now we go to another crossover, finally. Welcome to issue 47.
Oh.
Superman.
Who told you that? Joy, how'd you know?
Don't you know?
Lucky guess.
Does she know?
Does she know? I guess so. Issue 47 is the Superman one. So lately, this is a tie-in from another comic in which Superman is doing something else in his run, and it happens to be part of Impulse, what he's doing here. So Superman's had a crisis in which he believes himself capable of fixing every problem on Earth. So he is zipping around the planet just solving menial things because he's stopped all the major crime, and now it's like, okay, well, why don't I stop natural disasters? Why don't I stop petty theft? Why don't I just do everything? And it's gotten to the point where he's like stepping on other heroes' toes, and Bart can't even like save a cat from a tree without Superman showing up and stealing his thunder. And he's like doing a stakeout. It's actually a little bit important to him. He's like kind of focused, and this streak comes up behind him and touches him on the shoulder, and that freaks him out because the last time someone did that, the last time someone with super speed, snuck up behind him and touched him on the shoulder, Wally punched him in the face. So Bart immediately books it. So far that he ends up in the Gobi Desert by the time Superman is like, dude. It's Superman.
Hey, it's
It's
okay.
Superman.
It's okay.
Hey,
It's okay.
It's Superman. He's like spraying with water. Like,
He's spraying it with water. That's all
Oh, the
he
Gobi
knows.
Desert is in Mongolia.
Yeah, I know.
so he runs from Alabama to Mongolia, the fucking Gobi Desert, just because Bart is like, what the fuck? Because at no point does Superman, like, while they're flying, say, like, hey, it's Superman. Meanwhile, Bart's just like, I keep running and this thing keeps getting on me. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. But Bart, like, sees Superman behaving this way, and he gets it in his head, like, oh, if he can do it, why can't I just do that? And Max has to, like, talk him down from living in his basement with a bunch of pizzas and just fixing problems all the time like Superman is doing. Because he's like, take a look at Superman and honestly tell me, does that guy look like he is doing anything you want to be doing right now? Like, are you sure is that how you want to live? Because he doesn't look happy, pal. And Impulse is like, you got an excellent point. I think I'm just gonna do things I'm gonna do my own thing, unfortunately. I don't want to be like that guy. Our next crossover is in the very next issue, where we encounter the Riddler. For some reason, the Riddler came to Manchester, Alabama.
Is this the one I keep seeing where people are slandering the Flash by showing the Riddler punching him?
One more time?
I mean, it's not the Flash, but I could have been wrong with the thing that I saw. Does the Riddler punch Impulse? Is what I'm asking.
No.
Okay, cool.
So the Riddler shows up in Manchester, Alabama, and he kidnaps Dr. Morlo and Max. And he doesn't kidnap Max because he's a superhero. He's like, oh, that other old dude is also here. Let's get him tied up too. And the Riddler's like, now solve my riddles 3. What always drinks but is never drinking? And Bart shoots like 4 bombs in his hand. He's like, I looked under every porch in the town and said.
What gets wetter as it dries? I already got rid of
Hey,
this.
man.
I already stopped the terrorist punch.
Like, it's fine.
They're like 7 bombs.
47 of Superman was supposed to show Bart that he can't be everywhere at once, right? 48 is to show Bart, like, there are some people out there that are just your total opposites. So the Riddler, he's a person that talks around things. His problems are convoluted. His riddles are stupefying. And Bart speaks almost entirely with, like, literal meaning. So people think he's like being allegorical. He's like, no, an actual gorilla came to my actual house and beat the actual shit out of me. And they're like, aw, man, you just got bullied by some kid. That's fucked up. But you can't call him a gorilla just and he had mind control powers. And everyone's like, Bart, you're so funny with your overactive imagination. And then he meets someone with an actual, like, thing going on where they're intentionally obfuscating the truth, and he's like, okay, dude, we're not doing this. Listen, I just looked under every porch in Alabama until I found the bombs that you placed. I'm not playing this stupid fucking riddle game. And it gets to the point where Riddler gets like frustrated with him. He's like, fuck it! Take me back to Arkham! Take me back to Gotham!
You're no fun!
People in the Midwest, they don't play the fuck along! Don't you know the rogue terms of engagement? If I give you a riddle, you're supposed to solve it! And Bart's like, why? So you can waste my time for half an hour? Like, dude, go back to Gotham, man. You need to maybe get some bitches on your dick or something. I don't know. And then in case 3 major crossovers with certain characters we love isn't enough, we go to issue 50 and it's the Batman crossover.
Oh, cool.
So Bart, it's April Fool's Day, and Helen like pranks Bart with a water fountain with like some tape on it, so he turns the fountain on, it sprays all in his face, and he's like, "What the fuck was that for?" And Helen is like, "Dude, it's April Fool's. No one told you that?" And he's like, "No, you just splashed me with water. What the fuck?" And she's like, "Oh, well, you're supposed to go to your friends and people you care about and like give them a prank."
Oh no, don't tell him this.
No, be careful with how you tell him
As
this.
soon as she tells him, like, he gets an evil look on his face, and Max is like, I don't think that was the right option, and he disappears. So he went to Gotham with the intention of going to Tim Drake Robin and, like, joy buzzering him, right?
No,
So he goes to Gotham.
don't do that.
He goes to Gotham, he sees a little shadowy figure perched on a building. He's like, "Oh, my friend Robin loves to perch on shadowy rooftops." He zips up behind him, and Batman's like, "Hey, dude." He grabs him by the hair. And he's like, "Listen."
This is the exact face he makes.
He grabs Bart by the hair, and he's like, "Hey, dude, I am dealing with the Joker right now. The Joker will kill you dead. He did that to my son, okay? I don't want another kid to die because they don't know how to deal with the Joker. Here's the rules, okay?" And Batman very clearly lays out everything he wants Bart to do and exactly what he doesn't want Bart to do. And this is, like, he isn't having fun, but this is the most effective Bart has ever been because he knows exactly what he's supposed to be doing at that moment. Which is like, autism to autism communication. Like, Batman lays out his requests very clearly. No, like, oh, figure it out for yourself, like Max does, or no riddles. He's like, okay, do not come within 20 feet of the Joker, because if you come that close to him, he's going to hit you with something that could hurt you real bad. I get it, you've got a fast metabolism, but you also don't want Joker toxin in your lungs, period. And Bart's like, got an excellent point, you got an excellent point. And he's like, I'm gonna give you a piece of paper, you're gonna write out as detailed a map as you can put together as fast as you can. And Bart's like, oh my god, thank you. I love writing out maps, are you crazy? So the Joker, he's also there, and he's like, oh, if you don't go to all these locations and get all these trinkets for me, I'm gonna blow up these people. And Bart's like, I can get trinkets. So he has like Bart get a dinosaur skull, some sarcophagus juice, like it's just
A really big penny.
A really big penny.
A really big penny.
And Bart's just like, yep, here you go. And meanwhile, at the same time, he's also going to Batman and like laying out everything that the Joker is giving, like all the information the Joker is letting slip. And he's writing a map, he's putting like pieces on the paper showing where all the hostages are. And like, he's not having fun, but he's also not frustrated with dealing with Batman. He's like, I don't like him, but he just doesn't have an agreeable personality. That's
It's like being at work when you get it.
Yeah, like, now, it's sort of just like, okay,
Oh, you're so good.
I don't like Batman, but I know how to get this done, and that's fine. And then they deal with the Joker, because it's like, of course they do, it's the Batman and the Bartman. But, finally, like, Batman's like, hey man, I get it, you weren't supposed to be here, but you did do a good job, and I am, like, thankful that I had you around. You made this go a lot quicker than it had to. And Bart's like, oh, that's great. And Batman's like, I'm gonna tell, if your grandpa were here, I'd tell him, but I think I'm gonna tell Wally just how great you're doing. And Bart's like, I don't care about what Wally thinks. Can you just tell my dad, Max, please? And Bartman's like, oh, okay. And, Bartman.
Yeah.
And, we also learn that the name Impulse was given to Impulse by Batman when Wally was looking for him. Batman was like, hey, he's a speedster and a kid, like, something Impulse, right?
He's very impulsive.
He might be impulsive type card. And it's supposed to be like energy impulse, you know? Like, impulse as in he could do literally anything. And Bart's like, oh man, that's so cool, like, you gave me a really nice title. And he's like, oh, that wasn't supposed to be your superhero name. That was supposed to be a warning for everyone you encountered. And Bart's like, Okay, dude, I'm going back to Alabama. You have fun. And Bart just can't catch a break, I guess, because God forbid, huh? So, now we're getting into some real shit. Welcome to issue 52, where we see this green goo that's like accosting Bart and his friends while they're on a camping trip, and it's like scaring everyone around, and they're like, oh my god, weird green goo, it's like grabbing people and trying to eat them. And Bart gets caught like in it like stops him short, he can't move. He's like, okay, what's going on here? And then he sees someone else show up. Someone dressed in green. Someone who happens to match his exact build and physique with a green version of his hero suit. Because you see, when Bart escaped EarthGov after being held by Thaddeus Thawne, Mr. Grandpa Thad was like, oh, you can take Bart. Obviously, if you can take him like he wasn't what we needed, we'll make a new one. So they cloned Bart, and they put a little extra Thawne juice in there to make him like blonde like Thaddeus Thawne is. And they kept him in stasis. Like, they slowed down his aging, so for him it was hundreds of years that he was being cooked and like fed all this propaganda, essentially, by EarthGov. And then they let him loose, and they're like, hey, go kill that other Bart, that other guy, and replace him. And then you'll be in a position that'll let you kill the Flash later. So, this new guy is Thaddeus Thawne Jr. I like to just point out that the comparison here is that Bart and essentially his twin, Thad, both share the names of the respective Flashes that they come from. So, like, Thaddeus Thawne, Thad Thawne, like, grandpa to grandpa, same name.
Yeah.
And they're both the second because it's Thaddeus Thawne and then Thad Thawne, you know.
Yeah.
And then it's Bartholomew Allen the second. So they're supposed to be like mirroring the relationship between the Flash and the Reverse Flash sides of the family.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Thad is like way better at speeding than Bart is, but Bart is like, he can freestyle it. So Thad is only doing like, he's been watching Bart, so he knows how to predict him, except you can't actually predict him because he's gonna show you some shit that you couldn't even possibly imagine. So he like spins really fast to get the goo off of him and trap Thawne in it, while at the same time Max Mercury is fighting a son of Darkseid, Calibac. So they both win their respective fights, but Max is injured. And the injury is so great that he's starting to leak out Speed Force trying to heal it. And as a result, the Speed Force is leeching his energy. And it's starting to rapid age and drain his life force, which isn't great. So we are now at issue 57. So between here, Max knows that he's starting to degenerate, but Bart doesn't. So we're at the Christmas special right now, which is another crossover episode.
Wait, let me try to guess. Freeze.
No.
Well, that was like the worst guess
No.
possible.
Does anyone else have a guess?
Catwoman.
Here's a hint. It is a Justice League member.
Green Lantern.
Oh. Well,
Later.
Martian Manhunter.
Cyborg.
No.
Superman again.
No.
Hal Jordan.
No.
Wonder Woman?
No.
Me.
I'll give
The
you guys,
Flash.
I'll give you guys 3 more guesses, and then we're gonna actually give you
Can we
the
get
answer.
another hint?
No.
Sonic the
He is
Hedgehog.
part of the Justice League, or the Justice Society of America specifically. So the Leaguers, they're all like the people you'd imagine to be on the League.
Is it Beast
But
Boy?
it's not, because he's a Teen Titan. But the
Um.
Justice Society of America is a slightly smaller offshoot. No. So they're like sort of the B-list
Sonic the
heroes.
Hedgehog.
That's what I said.
Constantine.
This team is made up of people like Blue Beetle and Booster Gold.
Sideways.
It's not.
Booster Gold.
It's not Booster Gold.
Wait, that's a really good guess.
Well, I mean, it was dumb because he said it, so of course he wouldn't have said it if that was the answer.
Plastic Man.
Okay, wait.
Oh.
I
Who the fuck is Plastic?
You don't know Plastic
What do I look like?
You look like someone who needs to learn about Plastic Man.
I don't know
right
shit
now.
about DC, bro. Fucking Plastic Man. What does he do?
Educate.
Does he fight with a straw?
He stretches. He stretches. He can turn himself into anything.
He's Luffy.
He's like one of the most powerful
That's
DC.
dumb. Why is he made of
And
plastic?
because-
plastic doesn't do that.
Okay, so he fell into. He used to be a Gotham like henchman, like for Two-Face, I believe, and then he fell into a vat of like putty, which turned him into putty. And then he originally used his powers to like rob banks and stuff, and then Batman showed up and was like, "Hey, dude, they're gonna kill you for this."
So what?
Okay.
And then
Why is he not Putty Man then?
Because he's plastic.
Because he's plastic, the adjective, or plastic, the verb. Like
He's not a
pliable.
man.
Stupid.
Like
He's
pliable.
not a man who's made of plastic. He is a man who is plastic in the sense that he is pliable.
I hate that. That's stupid.
No, he's the best character in the world.
So
That's an exaggeration, but he's.
the really
That's a
important
dumb
thing
name.
here is that Plastic Man amongst the Justice League is kind of like annoying to them. He's overly
fucking
hyper, he's playful, and they're just like, hey dude, you need to take this a little more seriously. And then Bart shows up, and Plastic Man is like, oh god, he's just like me for real. I
Wait,
hate
who's
you
that one
so
Transformer?
much."
Who the fuck?
You talking about Blur?
Yeah, it's giving Blur.
It's not. He's not Blur.
So these characters are extremely similar to the point when
I don't know why I thought
occasionally
he was looking like plastic.
I've got nothing. I've got nothing, unfortunately. They are very similar. I do love me a good speedster. But, Plastic Man doesn't like Bart at all. And he's, like, repeatedly shouting, like, oh my god, he's so annoying! But this isn't just a single crossover, it's a double crossover, because it's also Mr. Mixie's Pitalik.
Oh my god.
Mitzel Spitlick.
Mixie's Pitalik.
Is it not Mitzel Spitlick? That's what I was told.
No, it's Mixie's Pitalik.
I'm gonna kill who told me that.
We're gonna find
No, Roland. It's pronounced Arabbers.
I'm gonna kill you next. How are you still alive? I thought I killed you already for that.
I
So,
haven't
Mixie's Pitalik is the villain of the episode because because he makes like this big Santa machine that's like supposed to go into Metropolis, pretend to be Santa.
This is an
And
Invader
then
Zim episode.
It's gonna be like noticeably evil, but only to Superman, so Superman's gonna have to kill Santa and a bunch of kids. And Mixie's is like, oh, that'll fuck with him, making a bunch of kids watch him kill Superman. I mean Santa. Except Superman's like not even in Metropolis at the time, and it's just Plastic Man and Impulse that are currently on the Watchtower. So Plastic Man's like, ah shit, Mixie's Pitalik is in town, and Bart's like, oh okay, I'll fix it. Except he gets there, and he's like, Santa! And Plastic Man's like, dude, can you not tell that's a robot? He's like, no, dude, something's wrong with Santa. I gotta help him deliver presents. So Bart carries this robot with Mixie's inside of it to every house on the planet, and Mixie's is magic, you know? So he has a sack that makes presents. So Bart was just going to every house pretending to be Santa and dropping presents down the chimney and like leaving them under the trees.
Yeah.
So he finally like opens up the hatch. He's like, "Oh, what the fuck? What are you doing here?" And then Plastic Man's buddy Woozy Winks is the one that gets rid of Mixie's. But my really big thing here is that Plastic Man is like one-sided beef with a 3-year-old. Like, he's like, I hate him. He's impulsive, he's irrational, he's silly, he's goofy, he's whimsical. And everyone's like, aren't you the exact same way? He's like, it's funny when I do it! Fuck you! Cretin. And then he kicks Bart off the Watchtower. Not actually off the Watchtower into orbit, but like, he's like, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out, get out. And he's just not nice. And I don't know why Plastic Man, I don't know why Mark Waid did that, but you know what? I stand by my goat, even though he's made some odd decisions. So, poof. We also have another crossover. Welcome to issue 61. Anyone hear of Stargirl?
I know the new show is supposed to be pretty good.
Well, she's here, I guess. It's just like a parent swap episode. Like, Max switches with Stripes, which is like Stargirl's dad and a giant robot, and then they're both like, we should go back to our respective kids. I have no fucking idea how to deal with this thing. But that's essentially it. And Bart learns nothing. So, Now, we are at issue 62. And remember up here how Bart didn't know about the degenerative thing? Well, now it's gotten so bad that Bart is like, hey dude, you've lost 20 pounds since I saw you yesterday. What's going on? And he's like visibly aged, his face is gaunt, he's got extra wrinkles going on.
He should use the serum.
Well, that's the thing is that Morlo, like, he tried to make some for him, and he's like, it's not that your body, like, I can't fix the serum because the Speed Force is literally eating you from the inside out. Yeah, so Morlo is like, dude, the only way we can get the Speed Force to fix you is if we take you to the Speed Force, which means you're gonna have to run fast enough to get in there. And Max can't do it, so they're like, okay, well, we have to find a speed suit that can. But Wally is busy and like doing time travel shit, obviously. And Johnny Quick, who was the next speedster that could get fast enough to get in there, is currently in the Speed Force because he died back in issue 15. And Jessie Quick, his daughter, can't do it. She's not fast enough. They asked her and she's like, I can't do it. So Bart is like pushing himself way hard to try to get fast enough to be able to reach the Speed Force. And there's a big fight that goes on in here where he fights a giant lobster and he imagines eating it and he's like, oh, but I hate seafood. That'd be gross. And he runs into a portal to push it back into its home dimension. And then he pops out and also, here in issue 57, we meet the dog.
What is the dog?
Bart got a dog for Christmas. The dog doesn't have a name yet.
The dog.
The dog.
Oh,
So Bart's been holding on to this dog for 5 issues now. So
It's the dog fodder.
the dog is not fodder.
Dog with the fodder. Fodder dog.
He's a dog.
Thank you for asking that, Ed.
He's the dog. Dog with the speed room. So he comes back through the portal, and the dog is barking at him and growling.
At Bart?
At Bart.
At Bart.
At Bart.
Uh-oh.
Is it not the? Did he get replaced by the Thon Bart?
Welcome to issue 63! So Bart goes back to school after winter break and he's doing really well in his classes. Like he's like focused, he's super serious. He goes and he cleans his room and everyone's like, oh, that's freaky. And then he's like, oh man, I want to give the dog a name. How about Ivan? And everyone's like, Ivan? He's like Ivan Pavlov, the guy that trained dogs with a bell. Come on.
You don't know things.
Come on, guys. Ivan Pavlov. Ivan. Give me paw, Ivan. Oh, he bit me. Okay. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. Well, we're going to get there. And he, like, is sneaking the dog, like, treats and stuff to get him to stop barking at him. And then we get a shot of, like, some brown hair dye hidden in his closet. Why is that in there? Bart, aren't you a natural brunette, Bart? Why are you dyeing your hair brown, man?
On your own fucking business.
Hey, Bart. Hey, Bart. What's going on? We get to issue 64, and Bart wakes up in a video game world. He's like,
What?
whoa!
You're gonna re-propagandize him so they can have 2 of them.
So he wakes up in a video game world. And in fact, it's the same video game VR world that they had him in the 30th century, where they kept him there to like train him to be a superhero. And while he was in there, he had this AI like buddy called Docs. And Docs would like give him quests and stuff and tell him where to go. So he sees Docs again after what has been like years to him, and he's like, oh my god, my best friend is back. And for a while, he's like enjoying playing in there. He thinks it's a dream. And then at a certain point, like, he remembers, like, hey, wasn't I doing something? And the simulation starts to fall apart. And Docs is like, okay, dude, I'm programmed to be your buddy, so as your buddy, I'm gonna tell you you can't stay here, man. You very clearly got more important shit to do. I'm not real. You need to go be out in reality because you're a real person. And Bart is like, no, I can save you. And even though the simulation's like falling apart, he's like, I'm Impulse, I've trained, I've practiced, and I am capable of saving you. And he goes and he saves him from like the collapsing rubble, except when he wakes up, Docs is gone because he was just code, you know? And only after he wakes up, he's like, yeah, I guess I did never stand a chance, did I? But he is quite steamed because he goes back to like Dr. Morlow's lab and he's like, that's not me, guys, that's not me. But fake Bart is already running into the Speed Force and taking Max with him. So Bart chases after him, and this leads us all the way into issue 66. Issue 65 is just them fighting, essentially, and Thad kicking his ass. Because even though, like, Bart got him last time, now Bart's trying to protect Max from him and, like, hold on to him and make sure he doesn't get lost in the Speed Force. So he's essentially fighting Thad one-handed. So he's getting his ass kicked, his nose is all bloody, and Thaddeus is like, don't you get it? I'm stronger than you. Why aren't you fighting back, though? Like, you're gonna die if you don't fight back. You better let go of that old man or you're gonna die. And Bart's like, dude, don't you get it? I'm not letting go of him because I love him. That's like, he gets my fucking nerves sometimes. At the end of the day, that's my dad. And I'm either gonna save him or I'm gonna die trying. And at that moment, Thad has a moment where he's, at that moment, that is a moment, he's like, was my life a lie? Was I really raised to continue some stupid fucking blood feud with my actual brother? Was I deprived of love for this? Like, any love at all for this? Just so I can kill some fucking guy and an old man for another old man that doesn't give a shit about me? And this cracks his worldview wide open, and he runs away and he disappears into the Speed Force.
Yo, I love good writing.
Don't get me started. So Bart is able to gently bring Max to the Speed Force, which revitalizes him, and he comes out, he's all shimmery, and he's like, you know, alive, which is great, quite frankly. But now it's time to get silly, and by silly I mean serious. So, where are we? Before we get into the thaumaturgy, as it should go, we jump to issues 68 through 69. Yuck. And for all the folks at home that wanted the Green Lantern crossover.
Yeah! But which Green Lantern?
Guess. The year is the year is 87.
Right. So is that what the
John Stewart?
No.
Guy Gardner?
No.
Hal Jordan?
No.
I don't know.
Kyle Rayner.
Wait, I do know that one!
So Kyle Rayner was a Green
Wait,
Lantern
isn't he showing
chosen-
up in the movie?
No, that's Gardner.
Yeah.
So Kyle Rayner, he was chosen to join the Green Lantern Corps on account of the fact that he, like, is a failed, struggling artist, but he has one of the most, like, expansive creativities that have ever been. To the point where giving him a Green Lantern ring is essentially letting him bring anything he can imagine to life.
Well, they gave him creative.
So the comparison between Rayner, and Bart here is that they both have incredibly powerful minds, I guess is how it is. Like, these imaginations that they spout, like the way that their brains work, it's ultimately kind of detrimental to them because it like stops them from being in reality, but it's still like almost impressive the expanse that their brains can produce, you know? It's just... And also, Bart is a really big fan of Green Lantern, specifically Kyle Rayner. Like, Bart has an issue with a lot of the Justice League because they just don't treat him right. Like, he thinks Superman's kind of an ass, he thinks Batman's insane. Plastic Man's made his opinions on him quite clear. Green Lantern Kyle Rayner is the only one that he's like, yay! Oh my gosh, it's Green Lantern! Woo! Yippee! Which is upsetting to me. So in the crossover, Bart is like doing his normal thing, patrolling the Earth, and he sees this guy about to get hit with a giant beam of light, and he's like, oh my god, that guy's gonna get fucking vaporized! So he shoves the guy out of the way, except the beam hits him, and he gets transported to this planet called Ram. Because it wasn't just any old laser beam, it was a zeta beam, which is how people teleport in DC Universe. And Adam Strange, he uses that zeta beam to get to the planet Ram so he can see his wife and kid, who are aliens. So he's like, fuck, Impulse is going to a different planet. Oh man, this is not good. This is not good at all. Because Impulse gets there, it's like, the first thing he does is try to save this woman and her child from these, like, mole rat things. And he's like, shoo, you know? And the lady pops out of her thing and she's like, where the fuck is my husband? He's like, huh? He's like, hey kid, bad news. You might have just destroyed that city over there. Those rats that were chasing me, I was leading them somewhere. And now that they're off course, they're going to dig a tunnel under the city and collapse into magma. And Bart's like, ooh, that's not great. That's not great. Can I help? Can I help? I'd like to help, please. And he tries to help by diverting the sea to cool the magma. Except the sudden heat boils the ocean and evaporates like a lot of it, and it makes this giant sea monster poke out of the sea and get ready to destroy the city. And Bart's like, fuck. Meanwhile, on Earth, Adam goes to the Greek Justice League. He's like, guys, there's an issue in space. Impulse is in there. They're like, oh my god, we gotta get you in space now, dude. So they take Green Lantern, and Green Lantern takes Adam Strange back to Rand, and they go to solve the issue. And shout out Adam Strange's wife for being like, hey, Impulse made a bit of a mess here. He feels really bad about it though, and I would like you to be gentle with him. And he's like, you've got a point. So they don't yell at him when they get there. They're just like, okay, we understand that you were trying to help. What you did was not helpful, but we can fix it. So he does get a chance to redeem himself in that. Great job, Adam Strange and Kyle Rayner, for not yelling at a child for being a child. I'm sure it was really hard for them, but they made it through somehow. Sarcasm. Yelling at children isn't the way. I say as a child care development worker. So, finally, we're kind of reaching the end of our rope here. We've reached Act 3. So, Act 3 kicks off with what we will refer to as the Future Arc. Issue 72. Carol and Bart are kind of just walking together. Lately, they've been getting closer. There's a Valentine's Day event that goes on back here where Bart is like getting acclimated to the idea of romance with other people. And he can't imagine it with anyone else, but he can imagine it with Helen. And he's starting to notice when she flirts with him, as opposed to every other person that's flirted with him going right over his head. Like,
wait, who's flirting with who?
Carol. I said Helen. I meant Carol.
Okay.
Carol Buckland, the smart girl at school.
Oh, yeah! Yeah!
So she's begun flirting with him in the wake of her boyfriend Jeff, who's just kind of a dick. And she's like, I'm tired of dating this.
Because they've had chemistry for a minute now.
They've had chemistry for a minute now. So she finally goes up to him. She's like, hey, like, Bart, I've got something to tell you. And at that moment, a portal opens and she gets yanked through and he gets hit with some sort of like knockout gas that just like was supposed to kill him. And then he fell asleep and then woke up an hour later like a honey badger, like, fuck! So he goes to Max. Except Max's daughter got taken too. And they're like, oh no. So it's just an awful, awful, awful thing for everyone involved. So Helen's gone, Carol's gone. They need to find out what's going on. And then Miss Girl Melanie shows up and she's like, I know where your girlfriend is. I have no idea where your daughter is, though. I don't know, Max. So Max stays in the past to look for Helen, while Bart goes back into the 30th century to look for Carol. And Carol is there. She's there with her older self. What the fuck? So Carol's like, hey, Bart, I'm really glad you came back to, like, help me out here. I'm not going back to the past, though. And Bart's like, are you fucking with me right now?
The heated toilet seats, man.
And she's like, no, listen. In the future, I create this beam called a hyper ray, which gives things super speed. Because I'm trying to, like, help you have more speedsters in the future. Except the hyper beam makes people crazy, mindless super soldiers that also have super speed. And your grandpa's using this hyper beam to enforce like his tyrannical rule by having speedsters that are all hulked out like as his enforcers. And I don't want to do that, so I'm helping my future self get rid of this stuff. And then they also meet Future Impulse. So Bart from the future is a 300-pound gorilla for some reason. I think I have the image saved somewhere, but the tagline they used is, "This is Impulse, and this is Impulse if he keeps eating his Wheaties." Which is like, okay.
Oh, gorilla issue. Roland.
Yeah, what about it?
Gorilla issue.
Read Aetherborn. There's a really cool monkey in that one.
So this is Impulse and Future Impulse. And Future Impulse is like goth because
Wait, I am not.
Iris West is killed at some point, and it makes him goth about it. And it gets to the point where like he holds Thaddeus, the grandpa, at gunpoint. And he's like, "I'll fucking shoot you." And Thaddeus is like, "You don't have the nerve."
Oh, that's why you were like Impulse would use guns.
Well, let me finish. And he pulls the trigger, and Thaddeus goes, "Eee!" And it turns out that future Bart, was able to catch the bullet right out of the barrel. And he's like, I might miss next time. I might not be fast enough next time. I'd say you stop fucking around and tell me where the beam is, dude. So they do that, and they kind of smash it up, except it starts putting out these weird rays. And past Bart is like, "Oh my god, future Bart's gonna explode next to you." Pushes the guy out the way, takes it head on, and for a moment, like, Bart seems to explode into a million other glowing yellow Barts.
What?
New power unlocked.
What? Excuse me?
What happens if you give someone with super speed?
What? What do you mean?
Bart is
They get faster. What do you mean?
So-
they don't turn into a billion. They don't
So,
get the colony.
primary Bart is Bart. After he gets hit by the hyper beam, he is allowed to create these threads of himself, I guess, which are sort of like clones, but they're all yellow and glowy. And what they can do is that they can freely run through time and then come back to him, and when they reintegrate themselves, he gains their memories.
These fucking barticles now.
Particle physics! Oh my god! So, he uses these scouts to go back in time, because, I said Iris dies, I meant Helen. So, Helen and Max die in the past because somebody kidnapped them. I believe it was David, the motherfucker from before. David, the guy who's cucked his... Max cucked,
right,
remember?
okay.
He was lying. He said he wasn't gonna come back.
He came back. And he had Helen at gunpoint, right? And Helen was like, "Oh my god, he's gonna shoot me." And Max was like, "Oh my god, he's gonna shoot her." And so he freezes for a second, and in that moment, Helen is shot, and then Max is shot. Which is why Future Impulse is emo. And Future Impulse kept trying to go back in time to fix this situation, but he wasn't fast enough to stop both bullets. So either Max would die or Helen would die, and either way he'd turn emo. Except when Bart goes back with his scouts, they're able to simultaneously catch both bullets, be like, great job everyone, and they go back to the future and reintegrate with Bart, and he's like, "Oh my god, they're saved." And Future Impulse and Future Carol, now that the situation has been fixed to the point where they, like, what they become doesn't happen anymore. Carol can't create the beam because she knows not to, and the one in the future is destroyed, so she's fine. Future Impulse won't turn emo anymore because Max and Helen aren't dead. They're fine, and they both get, like, sucked out of the time stream, right? And then Bart is still like, "Okay, now that the problem's fixed, like, Carol, let's go back to the past." And Carol's like, "Being a revolutionary with your mom sounds a lot cooler than going back to the past." And Bart's like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Time cock.
So Bart is like severely heartbroken after this, to the point where he's like in his room almost all the time, between these issues, his friend Mike was writing like a Impulse movie, right? And Preston was filming it. So there's a shot. First off, Bart doesn't play Impulse in the Impulse movie, obviously. It's one of his other friends.
It's Roland. Yay!
It's not Roland.
No!
Hold on. Bart's friends are Mike, Roland, Preston, and some other kid. I don't remember. I forgot. Let's see if I can find out.
Yeah.
It's probably Keith.
It's not Keith.
It's probably
Bless you.
My evil
Thank you.
toy.
One God bless you.
Yo, I love God. Read Psalm 51.
Okay. No, I'm not gonna do that, but okay.
Only because you asked so nicely.
Oh, shout out to that Bible verse my dad said. I still think about it.
Yeah,
Bible
I
verse?
cannot. Anyways, so one of Bart's friends, I think it's Mike, is asked to play Bart in the Impulse movie. And the dog, who has a name, by the way, a real name.
Ivan.
No.
No? We changed that?
So Thad named the dog Ivan. And everyone's like, that's a dumb name. Bart names the dog Docs.
Oh, I thought
Oh, of
Docs was
course he
the-
named it Dogs.
Okay.
Because this is the same issue where Docs just died. So
Okay.
he names the dog Docs. Because that makes him feel closer to him. And Docs is like fiercely loyal. So wherever Bart goes, Docs is like following him. And once Bart runs like out to town, and Docs breaks out of the house to follow him and nearly gets hit by a truck. And is saved by Mike, who like dashes into the street and literally throws himself into the road to save the dog. So before this, Mike and Bart were kind of like at each other's throats because Mike had a crush on Carol and Carol had a crush on Bart and Bart was none the wiser. So Mike blamed him that he wasn't able to get with Carol even though Carol had no eyes at him at all. And in fact, Bart was trying to get her to go with Mike because he was like, that would be the bro thing to do. But after he saves Dogs, they're like besties. So it's just like, it's really rough. He's sitting at home watching a movie that he, Preston, and Mike made together, and he's like seeing a scene where he and Carol are standing next to each other, and they're like this close to kissing, and it's just, it's really sad. I think I have the picture. Yeah, we found it right here. So this is the conditions he's living in after Carol leaves. It is not great. He is like fully depressed.
Damn.
He's got a control elite guy haircut.
Like his hair is.
That's what his hair
That's
looks
it.
like all the time, quite frankly. That's not the depression. That's why people recognize him as Impulse so often, is they're like, hey dude, no one has hair like that. Literally
It's not
no one
normal,
in
dude.
life.
No, it's like
Probably-
the fucking bit from Meet the Robinsons where they have like.
They take off his
Cowlick?
hat.
No, yeah, they have the kid like wearing a hat because he has such a dated hairstyle.
No, I thought it was because he had the cowlick or something. Or
No, he didn't
no,
have
he
the
didn't have the cowlick because he wasn't part. They didn't think he was part of the family.
Well, they
at the
knew
time.
he
No, he
wasn't
did
part of
not
the
have the
family because they
cowlick.
knew he was an orphan. They were like offering to adopt him, but it was because he had the notable hairstyle that he looked
No, his
just
hairstyle.
like the
He didn't
father
have the
Lewis.
cowlick. His hairstyle was just that fucking dated.
Yeah,
You're like, wait a
he
second, you're from
looked
the
just like
past.
Lewis, their father.
Also
Like,
that too. Yeah.
All right, well,
it was the exact same hair, and they're like, oh, okay, no
I
one's
remember
got
the
weird
cowlick was an
hair like
important plot point. I remember that
It was
much about
not
it.
Not remotely.
That hair is normal in the 30th
Wait, no,
century.
the cowlick
Not in
comes
the
back
Impulse
later in the movie.
Yeah.
Like,
well, not
this is a really
Wolverine
tame
Bomb.
presentation of it, but sometimes his hair is like comedically big.
He's like proto Lapis.
Josuke head ass.
But
Impulse
yeah,
walks so Lapis Lazuli should walk.
honestly. Like his hair is
Like the
huge, voluminous, it's always
Like the
kind of
orb?
sticking
Like
out.
the Steven
And
Universe.
people assume it's because he's running at super speed and the static charge builds up in his head and makes his hair stand up on end. But he's also got like comedically large feet, and everyone that knows him makes fun of his big feet. They're like, dude, we know you're Impulse because no one has fucking stompers like that, dude.
Call them stompers, bro.
And he's like, you've got an excellent point. Actually, I think, no. That's actually part of the reason why Mike was chosen to play Impulse. They were like, he has the biggest feet. He's like, my feet are not that big. And he looks at his feet, he's like, didn't have to say it though. But, right, issue 72. Bart's depressed. not 72. Sorry, I need to adjust the labels here because we're actually a little bit... I'm gonna get lost if I don't lock in. So, by issue 75, he's depressed. And by issue 76, he's still like going through that. And he's still doing impulse stuff is what's really important. He's like sad about it, but he's still out there doing it. And in fact, he's out there doing it in issue 77 on Apocalypse. Who knows where Apocalypse is? Who knows what that place is? Behind the camera, Joy.
The space tyrants, evil Nazi planet.
That's where Darkseid lives. I'm sorry, Roland just her. But that's where Darkseid lives. So he and the rest of Young Justice, which is, for clarification, Tim Drake Robin, Connor Kent Superboy, Sissy King Arrowette, Cassie Sandsworth Wonder Girl, who else? I think, Secret, who's like a ghost. Greta Hayes' Secret. They're on Apocalypse right now running reconnaissance for the League because they heard that Darkseid was up to some shit. But their groups get separated. It's, it's Cassie, it's Arrowette, it's Cassie, Sissy, Con, and Bart right now. Like that little group separated. And they're all trying to sneak around, be dangerous. Not dangerous, vigilant of the danger. And Granny Goodness, who's familiar with her?
Oh wait, she was literally in the Sonic crossover thing.
Yes, she was.
She got hit with the Pride Blast.
Yes, she did. So Granny Goodness is like an old lady who's like really sweet, but she's also stone cold fucking evil. And she's got this big horde of parademons chasing them, and she decides to have the parademons suicide bomb Young Justice. And at the time, Bart had a scout, which is one of his clones, the Speed Force clones, out doing like, scouting stuff. So he's like peeking his head around the corners, he's like, what's going on here? And he sees that Darkseid's created a robot with the powers of Superman, the intellect of Batman, which is a thing they do a lot in DC, quite frankly. The scariest thing that's available, I guess, is something that's as strong as Superman but as smart as Batman. They do that a lot.
Darkseid takes Batman's brain and wires it into Apocalypse's computer multiple times.
That's a thing that happens a lot. But anyway, so the Bart scout sees this and he's like, I've got to get out of here! So he's running back to Young Justice while they're being essentially bombed by parademons. And he's like bobbing and weaving to try to get through all of them. And they're all like, oh my god, he's not gonna make it. Because the scout's distracted, it's talking, and Bart's like, dude, shut up and vibrate. Because how they phase through like projectiles and stuff is they vibrate hard enough to shake their molecules like out of place, and then things just phase through them. Sure. So Bart can do that no problem, but his scouts have a little more trouble because they're like already Speed Force and already kind of broken off of him. So the scout takes one of these parademons, flaming by the way, dead on. And he gets almost like immediately immolated. It's like they can see the outline of his skeleton before he just poof vanishes into thin air. And Bart collapses on the ground next to them. And he's catatonic and seizing up. So whenever one of Bart's scouts die, the sensation and the experience of death are suddenly transferred, to Bart, who dies. One of his scouts just died, so he has to simulate death, because it's like, okay, I just experienced death, I should be dead. He goes catatonic, he's seizing. And he's like out for weeks after this. Like even after he stops seizing, he's in a coma. After he wakes up in the coma, he has to like reacclimate himself. He's like visibly dazed. He's like, man, I don't know what happened like 10 minutes ago. But after he gets better, he's like, I'm not impulsing anymore. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I died trying to do superhero shit, trying to give you guys a message that you couldn't get on your own because you wanted to send a bunch of kids to Apocalypse for some reason. And you know what? It's not fun anymore. Saving people used to be about having fun and like being able to express myself through my speed force, and then it fucking killed me. I'm not impulsating anymore. So he quits Young Justice, he quits being a superhero, he hangs up his super suit, he goes and he's trying to be like more normal, so he's hanging out with Mike more, and Mike's stepdad, not even his stepdad, I think that's just his dad, but like he's just hanging out with his normal speed friends more. And that's how it is for all the way up into issue 80.
So he retires for 3.
For 3 issues, essentially. And issue 79 actually is focused on Max Mercury instead of Bart, because Max is the one doing important stuff now. And that's also a crossover episode with the Joker, which is fun. We reach episode 80, issue 80, sorry, and Mike is dealing with some issues with his dad, who lately has been flirting with Helen. And she's been into him, because it's like, not a guy, that's her father, you know? So Mike is having issues with his dad because his dad was a paramedic, and they were doing some like renovations in their house, and they had to use like a charge, like explosive charge, to blow a part of their wall down. And at the time, the mom didn't know that the explosives were live, and she just knew that Mike left something in the backyard. So she goes to the backyard just as his dad comes into the front, and he's like, "Hey, where's your mother?" "Oh shit, the explosives are live." So she gets fucking blown up. But that isn't why Mike is mad at her. He's not mad at his father because his father blew his mother up. He's mad at his father because he's a paramedic and couldn't save her after he blew her up. He's like, listen, blowing things up is cool, but it's lame if you're just a bad doctor. Come the fuck on, man. So Bart's like, I know what it's like having a dad that you're kind of disappointed with. I too have a weird relationship with my father. And Preston's like, not Preston. And Mike's like, but I bet mine's weirder. And Bart's like, I guarantee you it is not. So they decide to go to a monster truck rally together, because Bart is like, I don't like watching cars drive fast on a race course, but I do think it's really fun to watch them do acrobatic stuff. Like, that's not a thing cars usually do. Even at slow motion, it's cool to watch. So he's having a great time there. And who should show the fuck up but White Lightning in all her child grooming ways. So way back in the Act 2 section, White Lightning was like caught and saved from actual death by Bart, who was like, "Hey, lady, quit it. Quit it. I'm so fucking sick of this. I'm so..."
Don't point at me!
Lady, if you steal things again, you're going to jail. You're going to prison. They don't care that you're a kid anymore. You're going to prison. It's not going to be great, okay? She's like, "Oh, man, you might have a point. I don't want to go to prison." And he's like, "Thank you. Fuck." So when he retires, he's like, "Okay, I don't have to worry about White Lightning. She's the only villain that regularly comes around Manchester. Everything else can be literally anyone else's business. I just have to worry about what's going on in my town." Except White Lightning comes back and she's like, "I'm gonna point a gun at the crowd and steal things." And she's like, "Fuck." Meanwhile, right next to him, a woman has a heart attack.
Oh, brother, time it, please.
Come the fuck out. No situational awareness. Ugh. So Mike's dad immediately is like, "You in the gray shirt, call 911," and starts doing chest compressions. And Mike is like, "Whoa." He like took charge of that situation and helped save that woman's life. Like, he did chest compressions on her till the paramedic showed up. He very accurately gave them the information they needed. Mike is like, "That's pretty cool." Meanwhile, Bart's like, "Hey, this is like a job for Impulse," and he puts on his suit and he's not happy about it. And then he goes and he stops White Lightning. He's like, "I am so fucking sick of you." And it's like a whole thing. But Bart is like kind of resigned when he becomes Impulse again. He's like, "I guess the world needs Impulse more than I need to quit." So Yay, we're getting back into it. Woohoo! And now, this brings us to, yes, our last major arc, which I'm referring to as the magic arc. So, Impulse, if anyone is familiar with Young Justice, there's this storyline with a kid. I can't remember the kid's name, but the kid gets attached to this like magical wish-granting Faustian spirit that gives him like the ability to do whatever he wants, essentially. So the kid does this thing where he splits the Earth into the adult half and the kid half. So it makes 2 Earths. All the adults are on one planet, all the kids are on the other. It's a magic thing, so Captain Marvel, Shazam, is involved.
What?
Except Captain Marvel is stuck on the adult side of the Justice League, and Billy Batson is stuck on the kid side with Young Justice.
Wait, like,
Billy
he actually
Bat?
like split them into 2 different people, or does he like?
So Captain Marvel and
teleport
Billy
whenever
Batson are 2 separate bodies right now.
Oh.
So this Captain of Magic, Captain Marvel is in the adult side, but he's like catatonic without Billy. And Billy is in the human, not the human side, the kid side, but he has no power because there's no Shazam. So, yeah. And Bart has to, like, the way that Bart ties into this is that he got captured, and the kid that got the magic powers is using this big magical hammer to knock a scout out of him. Like, he hits him in the head, and a scout pops out, and then he's using those scouts to do, like, his bidding. So right now, the scouts are running through time and changing things to fuck with the timeline so the Justice League never exists to bother him at all. Because they're, like, this close to fixing the issue, and Young Justice is equally this close to fixing the issue, so he's trying to stop them from existing. Except Bart gets around it by saying, this box is, the kid specifically says this, like, I asked for this box to be impulse proof, so like nothing Impulse does can affect the box. So Bart changes costumes and becomes Kid Flash for a bit to get around the magic barrier. And this was me crossing my fucking arms and clenching my fists, like, I don't want him to get in that fucking red and yellow monstrosity. Cause here's my whole thing. Slight tangent here. Wally West makes it repeatedly clear that he does not want a Kid Flash. He's like, I don't do sidekicks, I don't do little buddies, I don't do kids. You are not worthy of being Kid Flash. When my uncle was the Flash and I was Kid Flash, like, I was assertive, I was powerful, I knew what I wanted, I knew how to get it, and I didn't, like, wasn't a fucking little bitch about it. I didn't whine like you did. And so Wally, like, forbids Bart from being Kid Flash, so it's supposed to be like this big thing that now Bart is pretending to be Kid Flash to fix the issue, except I don't think you should have done that. I don't think, Mark Waid, you will face my wrath. Because I don't think Impulse needs to be Kid Flash, especially if the Flash doesn't care about him. Why should he have to link himself to that name? He seemed better off as Impulse, but I digress. So he uses that to free himself, and then he does some video game nonsense to stop the kid from using his magic abilities to end the world, except the spirit jumps out of the kid and jumps into Bart. Which is like, because now everything the kid was trying to do using Bart as like a middleman, Bart is now doing on his own. So he's like making wishes to change the Justice League, so the art style changes to the Justice League Unlimited, like the TV show's art style.
Yo!
And like they're all the slightly sillier versions you see of themselves in Justice League Unlimited, but also like cranked up a little higher. Like Batman and Superman are kind of buddies, linking at the arm, and like, wow, Impulse, you're so cool, I love being friends with you. And like, I just need to go over like the severity of this ideal world Bart has created and the implications of it. So firstly, he like changes history, so the Flash is still Barry Allen, and everyone in the Justice League wants to be his friend really badly, and they think he's so cool, and they appreciate everything he does for them. Bart, what you trying to say? You saying you don't feel appreciated in anything you do? You saying you just want to be accepted by the adults that you look up to? Okay. He goes and he changes like the power systems of the world, because he's like, okay, the main thing that people are fighting over right now is energy from the Middle East and oil. So he goes, he's like, okay, no one needs oil anymore at all. And in fact, everyone hates oil, and we're all going to use water to power our flying cars, and it's going to be great. He's like, what else is an issue I have? My mom and my girlfriend are in the future. Okay, we're gonna get them out. What else do I not like? My dad and my aunt are dead. Let's resurrect them. Awesome. My brother is lost in time. He's coming back too. My dog is my dog instead of like my best friend from virtual reality. I wish I could still like connect with my friend, but he's a dog.
This is so much worse than Flashpoint. You're gonna destroy.
Now the dog can talk. Except Carol is like very tenderly behind him, like, hey Bart, everything you were doing was really cool, but I'm starting to run the numbers and the world is falling apart. All the cars are powered on water. That's cool, but now water is the commodity that everyone's searching for, and we are literally draining the oceans to get it. And like all of our freshwater reserves are going out, and all the steam that these flying cars are producing are creating these really irregular weather patterns, and like now half the coast is like destroyed. And Bart's like, ooh, that's not great. And then his dad comes up to him and is like, hey son, I know this is the first time you've seen my face or heard my voice, but in my time I saved the world. So it's like not good that you took me from that, because now the world's not saved and the dominators are coming. And Bart's like, ooh, that's not good. And basically, like, everything Bart was trying to fix that was like plaguing his mind in his past, you know? He's used his speed scouts to go and fix, and it's destroying the world even more. And at a certain point, everyone's like, hey, dude, I think you have to fix this. Meanwhile, the magic demons in his ear, like, kill them all. Hey, Bart, they're trying to steal your power, dude. Hey, man, you gotta fix that, dude. You gotta keep them in line. And Bart's like, you got an excellent point. And then the Phantom Stranger shows up. Who's familiar with the Phantom Stranger? Vaguely. Do you have at least an idea of who he is?
Wasn't he like the precursor sort of deal, right? He was like the blueprint for Batman. Or am I mixing him up with something?
He shows up in Brave and Bold, doesn't he?
Yes, that's the Grey Ghost.
I was gonna say.
The Phantom Stranger is like this being outside of time and space who keeps everything running. So he knows how reality is generally supposed to look. So when shit gets weird, the Phantom Stranger steps in, he's like, I've got to fix this. And he took Max from wherever he was and is like, hey, Max, you've got to fix this. Go talk to your kid. And then there's a whole thing where Max has to like talk Bart. Yes?
So is that guy like basically God?
Yes. Except he has this really big thing about not stepping in, so he isn't God, but he is.
He's basically God.
He might as well be.
Okay.
So he's like God, but his powers are mostly like magical, like quasi-magical, you know?
Is he the God of the DC like universe only in this canon?
There are a couple guys that are like that. Like, we have the Monitors, we have the Spectre, and we have the Phantom Stranger. And they all essentially do the same thing, which is knowing how the world is supposed to be and go, and just keeping an eye on that and making sure that nobody fucks with that.
Gotcha.
So Bart has to like literally like choose to give up the power, because the only way you can get rid of this ghost thing is if you willingly give up all the power you have over the world. So Bart takes a moment and he's like, okay, well, if everything's about to snap back real quick, I might as well help myself out. He's like, I deserve that much. If I can't be happy, at least I can do this. So he goes and he asks Carol, and he's like, where are you in the future? And she tells him. He writes that down on a piece of paper, and he sticks it in the fam stranger's pocket at super speed so he doesn't notice. And then the fam stranger's like, okay dude, I'm about to fix this. Now that you gave me the magic, I can fix this, but woof. But I think for your sake, and for everyone else's sake, I have to remove the memory of this happening to you so you don't like beat yourself up over almost ending the world forever, you know? Fair. I think that's fair. Like, if I was about to end the world with my bad decisions, I would also like to be allowed to forget that happened.
I would like to be allowed to not forget. I'm not big on involuntary memory wipes.
Bart knew what was going to happen and he gave the power willingly anyway. Like, the Phantom Stranger couldn't have taken the powers and not take the memory as well.
Oh, gotcha.
So Bart willingly gave it up, knowing he would lose the memory, which is why he asked Carol where she was, writes it down, puts it in the Phantom Stranger's pocket, and is like, okay, go. And then once he loses the memory, the Phantom Stranger's like, is this yours? Like, yuck. So now Bart knows where in time to look for Carol, which is where we reach our conclusion here. Whew. Bart goes into the future looking for Carol, who is currently on the 8th moon of Corpor, entertaining these guys called the Deucers. And the Deucers are part of a caste system on this 8th moon, and they rule over the Sumers. And the Deucers produce media and entertainment for the Sumers to consume and entertain them while they work to produce materials for the Deucers to continue creating entertainment.
It's like a metaphor.
It's like a metaphor or something. Bart goes there, and they're using Bart as a source of entertainment. They're like putting him in these X Factor games and teasing him with the illusions of Carol and his mother Melanie. And every time he finishes a challenge, they just pull the, they pull him away, and they're like, oh, you gotta do another one. So Bart's like, oh my god, I don't want to do this forever, but I have to keep performing because if I don't, they kill my family. Man. So the way that he gets out of it is that Carol and Helen have to like break out of their prison or whatever and rally the Sumers into choosing like what they want for themselves and not just letting the Deucers create this endless stream of misery to barely entertain them. Because it's reached a point where they're like, hey, you're telling him that you'll like let his mom and his girlfriend go, but like you told him that 3 rounds ago, and he's earned it by now. So Carol finally like goes back to Bart, and Bart's like, oh my god, fucking about time. So Carol is allowed to leave, but Melanie's like, no, the Sumers are doing a revolution. I want to stay here and help them do that against the Deucers, which is
Carol.
like, Helen, you will do anything to be a fucking deadbeat mom, won't you? Bart literally fixed the problem. Like, they did that already. The Sumers and the Deucers, like, the balance of power has shifted. The Sumers are like, there's way more of us than there are of you. We don't want your rule anymore. We're gonna fix it. And Helen's like, not Helen, Melanie's like, and I can help. You have a son to raise. And get this, it gets worse. It gets worse, folks, because he goes back into the past and Carol's like, oh, Bart, I love you to bits. I don't think having me around is good for you, because every time like people connect that I know you, bad shit happens to me and you end up stranded on a fucking moon. Like, I think you might have to leave me behind. And Bart's like, no, we still live in the same town, like we'll be able to hang out. Except Bart gets back and everyone's like, oh my god, Bart, you don't know. Dude, Mac's been missing for like a couple of days now. He ran into the Speed Force and he hasn't come out and he isn't anywhere. And Bart's like, are you fucking kidding me? Am I homeless again? And he's like, okay, well, I've really grown as a person, and I think, Wally, if like, I'm willing to put it behind us, if you let me into your house and your heart. And Wally's like, are you fucking stupid? No. Dude, you're gonna go live with the Garricks. And Bart is like, who the fuck are the Garricks? Jay and Joan Garrick. Jay Garrick is the first Flash. The first speedster, right? He's kind of an inspiration to the other Flashes. It's like, he's like their grandpa. But this is the first time Bart's met him, like, actually out of costume, and he's like, are you seriously doing the same exact thing you did to me at the start of this comic? Are you putting me with another random old speedster that I don't know? And they're like, no, he has a wife. And Bart's like, I'm not doing this, and he runs away, and Wally has to chase him down again, and this time, instead of like just kicking his ass, Bart takes him to Central City, like to Wally's childhood home, where he was abused by his father. And it's like, hey, Wally, now that we're here, I hope you can like look into your heart and like see that, like, the way you're treating me, like, would your past self really appreciate you doing this to another vulnerable youth? And Wally's like, yes! It isn't like that, actually. Like, Wally does give a decent point that, like, yeah, Max is gone, and yeah, it would be cool if Wally were to not be a dick and take him in, but also, like, he just can't do that, and Bart should be mature and accept his new lot in life and live with the Garricks. And Bart's
Bart,
like
15, 3 years old.
He's had 2 birthdays since the start of the comic.
So he's still 5-year-old.
He's 5, yeah, much older. He's 5 now. Wally West, you will face my wrath. But when he gets to the Garricks, Jay is like frothing at the mouth trying to chase after this guy called Rival, who's like the first Reverse Flash before Barry and Eobard started doing their thing. And Rival tries to kill Joan. Jay's like, I'm gonna kill him. And Bart's like, please don't. And he's like, I won't. And then they're like, it turns out that this Rival guy has stolen Max Mercury's body and is using it to travel through the Speed Force. And he can't be separated from Max without killing him. So Rival's just like, toodaloo. And Bart's like, oh, well, there goes another father figure. Hey, Jay, you want to step up to the plate? And Jay's like, I would, actually. I would appreciate having you in my home. So Bart gets to live with like these 2 old people that are really sweet to him and essentially give him all the things that Max was intentionally depriving him of at the start, to sort of acclimate him into human life, because now that he's good at it, he can be with a group of people that are like treating him. So like Joan likes to cook a lot of sweet treats for him, knowing that Bart needs the calories, and Jay isn't like a mean old boomer. And like when Bart says, hey, I actually really like video games, would you like to do some with me? Jay says yes, and they sit down, they play video games together. Max would never. Max Mercury is my goat. However, so is Jay Garrick. Thank you for coming. This has been Shaka University. Actually, I lied. There is a few more things I want to go into here.
Yeah.
So, the important part is done, so forgive me if I sits. But, so, I think the really important part of this story as a whole is that throughout it, Bart has this notion that as long as he's happy, things aren't right. Like, when he's here, happy to escape EarthGov, Wally comes over and hits him in the face and is like, hey man, you've got to stop the super speed. And he's like, oh, okay. And then when Bart's happy to be away from Wally in a new location and is ready to start a new life, Max is like, hey, dude, you can't be that happy because now you're super speeding and telling people at your impulse. You gotta rein it in, brother. We go here, and Bart is like trying to be happy with the level of impulse he is, but he's being dragged back into this blood feud bullshit that he's had going since before the dawn of time for him, and he's like, I literally want nothing to do with this. I just want to live. Is that not enough? And everyone's like, no, you have to deal with this, man. So, like, fighting Thad twice here, trying to be Impulse, but everyone's like, no, you have to be better. Don't you get it? He goes here, he's become a better Impulse, and then it's like, okay, but don't you realize that even if you are a good Impulse, like, and you're super strong and huge and buff, you're still, like, not doing well because he sees the future self where he looks great, his power is up, his speed is off the charts, but his fucking dad is dead. He's emo without his girlfriend. And he's like, well, I don't want that. But then when he fixes it, Carol and Melanie have to leave him anyway. What the fuck? And then when he finally gets the ability to fix the world and, like, correct the injustices that have been done to him. Because remember, this whole story is about a vulnerable child who's had basically everything taken from him repeatedly and made it clear that he's not allowed to have good things. When he finally has them, it's like the lesson he learns is that it really would be the end of the world if he was happy. Woof. Man, I've got nothing.
Imagine this being what your life was like when you were 3.
POV, you are 3 years old. This has been Shaka University. Thank you for coming. What I want the folks at home to take away from this is go read Impulse.
And Sideways.
No.
And Aetherborn.
No.
Really good.
Hey, this post is about Impulse. Make your own post.
And Kamen Rider?
Watch The Sopranos.
And then watch Monsters Inc. It's a really good movie.
Yeah!
And then give
Finding
Kubo
Nemo.
give Kubo and the Two Strings a try while you're at it. If you're already watching good stuff.
And then watch Wish to, like, palette cleanse.
Love Island is
But
also
it's really
pretty
valid.
good.
Watch Redo of Healer.
Yeah, you watch a couple bad things, then you come back and you watch the Young Justice TV show,
Rushing
and
the
you're like, oh
Dr.
boy, I can't wait to watch the TV show with the name of the group that Bart Allen literally started, and he doesn't show up until season 3.
Oops.
And he's not even a primary character.
Do they do justice to...
I think they play the character of Bart Allen really well. And my favorite choice they made in that thing was to make him gay. He has a boyfriend. He kisses him occasionally. Huge, big day for Twink, the fastest Twink alive. I guess they might as well have made it true. But like, the story is different in Young Justice. In Young Justice, Bart is he is still from the 30th century, and he is still Flash's grandson, but he's, like, currently in the alien invasion part of his history. That isn't, like, something his dad fixed. It is currently happening, and it isn't from the Dominators. It's from this other breed of aliens, the Reach,
I
which
like
is
that a lot
Blue
better.
Beetle territory. So, in his universe, Blue Beetle is, like, the big bad, and he has to, like, go back into the past to make sure that Blue Beetle doesn't turn evil. There's also no Ted Cord in this. No old gay man for you. It's Jaime Reyes as Blue Beetle. But Bart's cool in Young Justice. I like him. They change his future speak a lot. Like, in the comics, he swears. That's my favorite thing about him, is that he's like 3 years old, but he swears like a sailor because no one knows what he's saying. So sometimes it'll be like, Sprock, griping Nass, and they're like, can I fucking help you? And he's like, oh, you don't get it? Okay. So he likes to say words like that when he knows that no one's gonna get on his back for it. And then he meets actual future people, and they're like, whoa. Hey man, you need to watch your tongue. And he's like, nuh-uh. But he also, in the presence of other kids, will do like present day swears. And it's really funny to see how vulgar he is. Like, he's smallest person on the team. He's described as having a cherub's face. And then he's like, shut the fuck up. Are you crazy? And I'm like, he's great. Yeah. Bart's great. Best DC character.
Woo. Amen.
Amen. That's the move. Alright.
So Ed,
Oh, what's up?
you were talking about Kamen Rider?
He was talking about comics.
Oh yeah, go back up there and do your Kamen Rider lecture.
We're talking
Yeah,
about Final Fantasy 14.
I got work at like.
Hey Ed, can you explain Incineroar to us?
Okay, so Incineroar is like a dark fire type. And the dark, fun fact about dark type. is
Shut
the
up.
word of
Stop recording
manipulating.
now.
Hey viewers, so I forgot to mention this really important thing, but not only is Bart autistic and his special interest is very obviously video games, but he's also like a huge nerd just in general. He's got Star Wars bed sheets on his loft bed. He's got fucking Star Trek like figurines.
Yeah,
When
come
he
on.
talks to the not the Teen Titans, sorry.
Yeah, sure, you
When he talks to Young Justice, he will routinely make Star Trek references. He's also just like, he's got the speedster eidetic memory, which is to say that he can, you know, remember anything that he's seen by just reliving the memory again. So, something he does a lot is that he'll quote like really niche parts of stories. Like he'll be like, hey, not to hype up my man or anything, but where's Antonio then? I could not find him at the Elephant, yet there he was, and there I found his service. Would do me plenty of favors now. Or he'll be like, hey, I don't mean to alarm anyone, but this religious like themed cult we're fighting right now, they're currently recreating a couple like signs of the apocalypse in the Bible, and they're like, well, how do you know that? And he's like, no, come on, you've seen it. Like the rivers will turn to blood, and next was loathsome sores. Like you haven't heard this one? Oh my goodness. But this is just like a thing he does routinely, and it's shown that he could get good grades, except he doesn't care enough to do the work. He's like, I would have done it, but I forgot. And everyone's like, you can't forget. And he's like, I intentionally forgot. I did it in purpose. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's all of it.